That's $10,000, Connor. Ha ha! Yeah! 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 This show is not for sharpshooters. This show is a fucking machine gun. There's no chewy center to this show. It's all hard candy. This show is not a sniper on a fucking roof. This show is a drone taking out a village. Do not invite me into your house because I will come in and I will wreak fucking havoc. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt's 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. How are you folks? I'm fine. Hey, here's the thing. Hey, I took a picture of my cock with a flash for the first time. And it is a, it makes it look very different. It's an odd... Because all the previous photos have all been with sans flash. I went natural. I went on natural. I wanted to make sure I got it in its natural habitat. However, this time I decided that I wanted to go because it was dark. It was a little darker in the room, so I was like, all right, well, and actually it was not on purpose. The phone made this decision for me. The phone decided aesthetically, because it was on auto for some reason. The phone decided, hey, I'm going to go ahead and use the flash at this point, and I was like, what the hell? Because I had not anticipated that, folks. I'll be truly honest with you. I was looking more for cock in shadow. However, it turns out that the phone decided, no, we need to see everything that we can possibly see in this photo. So, because I was not expecting it, because it was an impromptu shot. I won't lie. Wasn't like it was planned. I had not booked the Esther Mills studio. I was not at Jostens getting the, what if I did? What if I had a cock shot like 8th grade? It was just a straight shot and then that wistful shot of my cock up in the corner. Holy shit, that'd be awesome. I need to do that. I need to invent cock yearbook shots, like 8th grade yearbook shots. God, I got to find my 8th grade shot. I was in a suit. I wore a suit for my 8th grade picture. And it's that weird reflections, like where it's the straight picture of you and then you're staring off. Jostens is the ring people. They're not the photo people. Perhaps they're the cock ring people. Jostens would take a cock ring photo. No, Jostens is absolutely the ring people. I don't know. Olin Mills. That's the photo people. Yeah. But I had a suit picture. I had a fucking, literally you can't even see me. It looks like someone drew eyes on my tie knot. Like that's how distracted you are from my face because it is this gigantic chunk, fucking huge, crazy tie. And it's like a beige suit. It's not a good look, folks. It is awful. And then hair. Oh my God, hair. I had this one flyaway flip fucking Marlo Thomas, that girl graphic hair thing happening. Not good. It's funny, I posted my mullet photo and then Max posted his mullet photo. He's like, haha, I can taunt you with your mullet photo. And I'm like, you look good with your mullet photo. I look like an idiot. It's like, you win, I guess, because your mullet is better. Because he even said that. He goes, I'll see your mullet and raise you. And I'm like, you don't have to raise me. You won. I'm defeated. The second I saw your mullet photo, my mullet folded. It wanted nothing to do with this competition because you're still fucking, Bruno Mars with a fucking mullet. He put a picture of himself up where he looks like Bruno, like he did this weird thing with his jaw. Dude, he totally looks like Bruno Mars. Like Max, and I'm not the only one who ever thought that because then when he put up the one picture, our friend Catherine in Toronto she wrote Bruno Mars, and I'm like, exactly. And then he put up another picture, and someone said, dude, you look like Bruno Mars. Like, and I'm like, yes, he does. God. Yes, thank you. Which one are you looking at? Are you looking at the mullet photo or are you looking at the one with the four of us?
Oh my God, the mullet photo.
Okay, yeah, where he's just sitting there and he's got the sweater on, right? And how good looking is he? Yeah. He looks amazing. But yeah, so he's got like, what was that face you just made? All right, whatever. So
I got weird girly feelings when I
well,
saw
of course you do, because he's really good looking.
That before.
Yes.
Like, ooh, that's sexy. Then I'm like, why?
Yeah, you work with that guy. Leave him alone. That's harassment. What are you doing? I should take a picture of you and see if the flash goes off and see what you look like. You'll be flushed by the flash, or there'll be a flash that flushes you. I don't know.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Oh, you hadn't seen that picture? Yeah, exactly. You don't because I leave here. That's the thing is I leave here and then Lily and I.
Looking motherfucker in there.
Is that Brian? I don't know. Is the guy right next to me?
Yeah.
That's Brian.
Funny.
Yeah, I've told stories about Brian's part. That was the house where we used to go hang out all the time because his parents. It was just like that was the house, and all he did was like make out with girls, and they were in bands together and stuff. And now we don't talk. Oh. I don't know. Brian is he's married and an adult. God damn it, why does adulthood steal people away? I don't get it. It makes no sense. Stop being adults. Come on, you still gonna hang out with me? And it's so funny because he goes to church and I'm taking photos of my cock with a flash. Like, I mean, like, that's probably why we don't talk. He's like, hey, I was talking to Jesus the other day. I'm like, really? You should see this awesome angle I got of my cock. Because again, it was an impromptu shot. It was not planned. It was just, in my head, I was just like, hey, this sounds like the thing to do at this point. But I wasn't thinking it was dark because I kind of just woken up. And that's the thing you do when you wake up. You immediately take a picture of your cock. Because I don't normally have the phone so handy. And I know, look, your cock looks best in the mornings, right? Is that true? Right when you wake up? Because he's well rested. He's had a night of resting. You would hope. If he hasn't had a night, oh my God, that's even worse. You have a crazy night and then you take a photo the next day. He looks all beat up. I don't know who you're fucking that he looks all beat up. Jesus Christ. There's a vagina with a speed bag hanging out of it. All right, so.
Oh my God.
Well, that's what I actually used to call it, work with the speed bag. Never mind, who cares? All right, so. Why are you so horrified by that? Folks, I'm late. I'm very late today. I was supposed to be here at 2, and real life interfered a few times. And so now what is it now, 6? Yeah, it's like 6 o'clock on a Wednesday. At least it's a Wednesday record, folks. But yeah, I've had the shit kicked out of me the last few days. I'm not gonna lie to you, folks. So I wasn't even sure if I was gonna be able to record this. And then Lily's like, hey, that's what you do. That's your job. And I was like, yeah, sort of my job. Right? It's one of my jobs right now. I'm like, remember that sketch on In Living Color? What was it? Jamaicans who had like 80 jobs. I'm part Jamaican right now. Because it's like, I told you, I'm doing all those, like, I'm walking dogs and fucking getting people's mail and house sitting and cleaning a pool. I mean, all that stupid shit that people do for $5. It's terrible. It's terrible. Because I can't get a fucking real gig, as you know, as I've told you, as I've tried to tell you. I worked as a bartender last week. I told you guys that. I was going to go pour wine. And, oh, dude, fucking, so, I told you guys last week that Rachel had hired me to go and pour wine at her fucking event. And I was like, well, all right. And here's something I need to talk about real quick. None of this stuff is beneath me. All right. But in my head, I make it that way when I talk about it. So people think, oh, dude, why are you so pissed off that you're going to do that? I should be grateful that people are offering me money to go and do these things because that's pretty cool. And thank you. And I'm glad and I'm happy to help out. I made Lily sad because I was talking about working at the Monday Night Teas and I was talking about how horrible it was. And she looked at me and I didn't realize the damage I was doing. I just kept fucking shoveling dirt on the situation because I was talking about it. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking, I was bitching. Here's why I was bitching. This is totally true. They take photos at the Monday Night Teas and I'm always in the background, like lurking. You can always see my fatness just standing back there watching real people and real entertainers entertain people. So I'm in there and people were tagging me on Facebook on these photos. And I told Lily, I go, can you just tell these motherfuckers not to tag me? And she's like, why? And I said, because it's fucking pathetic. I go, then everybody sees me there working as a bouncer. It's terrible. They see how far I've fallen. Everything is bad in my life. And it's all exemplified by the fact that in the foreground, people are actually working for a living as entertainers. And in the background, I'm holding a clipboard like a dumb fuck. It's awful. And, Lily was like shocked. Kind of her mouth was a little open and she's looking at me and she just goes, they tag you in those photos because you're part of the family. I said, what do you mean? She goes, you're part of the Monday Night Teas family. Like, we're all there. We're all in this together and we want to show that we're all there having fun together. You've put this arbitrary bullshit on yourself that you're there making a living as a doorman and you failed. She goes, but we look at it like our friend Mike is there and it's awesome. And she was hurt. Like, she was really hurt that I said those things. And I felt fucking terrible because I'm like, this is not about you or about the teas. This is about me and how fucking horrible I feel about myself right now that I'm 45 and I failed and I missed it. And I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But I didn't realize the damage that I'm doing by saying those things. It's like, when I talk about Rachel last week, where I'm like, I don't want to go pour fucking wine for these idiots. And it's like, what are you talking about? They're offering you money. Go there and be nice and be funny and have a good time. What the fuck is your problem? But it's because because I'm supposed to be more than that. I'm supposed to be more than this. I'm supposed to be more than I've wound up being. And it's my fault. But again, it has nothing to do with anybody else but me. It's my fault completely why I'm in this situation. And it's not even a situation. People are like, Rachel invited me. She goes like, oh, I thought you'd be funny and you could be like, and pour wine and it's a way to help you out because she's helping me out, dude. When Karen split, I don't even know fucking Rachel. I don't know her at all. She texted me the second the show came out, and her husband, because she doesn't listen. Rachel doesn't even listen to the fucking show. Her husband does, and he mentioned it to her. She immediately texted me. And she's like, what are you doing? Get out of the house. Come over here. Do something. Let's figure something out to do so you're not staring, in the middle of the night. And I'm like, yeah, easy for you to say. You don't realize in the middle of the night, I wake up and I take a picture of my cock. My nights are covered, goddammit. I'm fine. You might think you're getting me out of my own head. Forget about it. I've got a fucking beret on and an easel, and I set it up. I put my thumb out there and snap-a-roo. There you are, baby. But yeah, I'll tell you the flash on that. Yeah, it's a whole different animal on that picture. It's, yeah. All right. It's just, well, because there was mystery in the other photos. I don't know how to put it. It was like, because it was kind of like, it looked like I was taking a picture of my cock was coming through the fog. Like literally it was just, you were out at the docks and you heard the, and out of nowhere, my cock shot out of the fog. It's like, hey, I gotta get a quick snap of that. Clink. It was like, the other pictures are like if my cock was a UFO and you aren't sure what it is, but you take a picture like, all right. But now there is no question what it is. When there's a flash involved, absolutely not. Holy shit, it is there, it is present, and it is in your face. But I will say it looked great. It's a good angle. There was some heft to it. Looked bad. Huh?
Did you Twitter it?
I did. I sent it out immediately. That's what I'm doing. I'm stockpiling this cache of photos just because eventually I will just send them all out. Like I'll just this. Let's put it this way. If you follow me on Twitter or you're my friend on Facebook and an army of cock photos just starts going out, just go, well, Mike's dead. Literally, that's that, because that will be my final act on this earth, is to just absolutely destroy everybody with cock photos and then die. And don't think I can't do it, folks. I have a whole folder. I actually have a spare phone filled. I had to get a spare phone just to fill it with fucking 6 gigs of cock photos. And cock movies, I won't lie to you. All right, so cock movies are not as interesting as cock photos, I have to be honest. And you got to give him a personality and stuff. In the pictures, he has his own personality, but in the movies, you got to give him a little hat. All right, so that's what I do. I spend all night making cock hats. Actually, he's already got a hat on, or a helmet. All right, so yeah, it's terrible. The fuck was I talking about? So I'm doing these jobs, and it's awesome that people are offering them to me, and that's very nice. But I'd still like to get a better gig, something I'm supposed to be doing that pays what I think I'm supposed to be making and is commensurate to what I'm supposed to be doing with my talent. Whatever, who cares? But at the same time, when that happens, I'll still walk your dog. Give me a call. I'm happy to do it. God knows that's what I need to do at this point. I'm Richard Marx. When you're trying to make a living, there's no such thing as pride. Shame is out the window, folks. And if you look in that window, you'll see me taking photos of my cock. If you go by my house, you just see the flash going off. You're like, yep, know what he's doing in there. No, it only happened once with the flash. It's not like I got a whole bunch of them. What if I'm like one of those photographers in an old 70s show. It's like, all right, no, fight with me. Look at the camera. You love me. The camera loves you. My cock, strangely unresponsive. All right. He's not talking to me anymore. We're not on speaking terms. He's very upset with some of the things I've done to him. He could not be less thrilled. All right, that made me laugh. As if he were a real person, he'd be that angry. All right, so you don't have to laugh at that, folks. Anybody, you can just stop. I understand. It just made me laugh because it was a stupid idea that my cock and I were fighting, like we're in an argument. Because that makes the backstory of the photos even funnier. Like he's so mad at me and I'm still taking photos and he's like, stop! You know what? He's me. In a meta way, I'm pissed they're taking photos of me at the tees. He's pissed that I'm taking photos of him at the house. Enough. I don't want to be in these pictures. I was supposed to be more than this. Believe me, I wish you were. So I did. I won a porn wine last week for Rachel. And I left the house, oh, fuck, because she gave me the address. Here's the thing. It was important to me to be there, to be present there. And I made myself, I said, look, just do this. Just do it. Don't make this an issue. Don't make it a thing. Don't pretend. Don't sulk. Don't mope. Just go there and be you and be fucking great and do what you're supposed to do. And treat it seriously, like a gig. Don't look at like your friend, because it was just a friend giving me charity. That's all it was. But in my head, I went, you know what, dude? Make it a gig. You got to be as professional as you possibly can. And I said, okay. which, by the way, that phrase, as professional as I possibly can, be as professional as some other professional person possibly could be. Um, so I left the house. I had to be there at 5. I had to be down in, by the beach. And I should tell you this. As you know, I don't know. I know fuck all about directions. I don't know how to get anywhere. There's a lady who lives in my car, and she tells me where to go. So I punched in the address into my car, and she gave me this choice of like 3 different, because it was on let's just say it was on Von Stupp Boulevard. Well, it gave me West Von Stupp Boulevard, East Von Stupp Boulevard, or just Von Stupp Boulevard. And, with no zip code, no any of that. So I actually called Aaron, who's Rachel's husband, who listens to the show. And I called him up, and he's like, "Hey, I just got to the part where you're making fun of my wife." I'm like, "Good. Well, let's put that on hold for just a second because I have to ask you a question. Where is this place I'm going?" I said, because I have one address for her business, but then now I have a different address for where the party is. And I've got like 4 different choices. And he goes, "Well, it's by the beach." I said, "I understand that, but the lady who lives in my car doesn't understand that it's by the beach. I've got a west, I've got an east, and I've got just a regular." And he goes, "Go west. West is toward the beach."
Oh, Jesus.
And I said, "Done. Makes sense to me." Click. So I go, "Makes sense to me. Don't tell Rachel." Click. So I leave my house. I have to be there at 5. I leave my house at 10 to 4. Okay, to go 19 miles. And but it's right at the height of rush hour, as we all know, which is basically any time the sun is up or down in California. So I leave, I get on the 101, I hit the 405, and I'm tooling down the 405, and I get past the Getty, and everything's great. We're flying. And right when I get past the Getty and you get down by Wilshire, bang, taillights. Nothing but taillights. And usually when you get through Wilshire and then Santa Monica Boulevard, it loosens up because you get toward the 10 and everything's fine. Nope. I'm just sitting there and I'm crawling. And it becomes 4:15. She wanted me to get there at 4:45. 4:15, 4:20, 4:25, 4:30. And I'm still 8 miles from there, but like sitting still. So I texted her and I just went on the 405 waiting to murder everybody. "I apologize. I'll be there soon." And she didn't text me back. I kept driving. Finally, I get to my exit, and I get off, and the lady in my car, she's like, "Go left." So I go left, and I'm on the street, Von Stupp Boulevard, where they're holding the party. So I'm driving, and I'm going, and I'm moving, and I recognize that. I know where I'm at, okay, and it doesn't. In my head, I'm like, there's no, because I'm in Inglewood, okay. If you know anything about Inglewood, folks, it's a lot of pawn shops. A lot of rib joints. Right? That'll tell you exactly where I'm at. So I'm driving, literally, I'm on Von Stupp Boulevard looking for Martin Luther King Boulevard. That's where I'm at. And look, nothing wrong if you want to live there, and that's fantastic. And it's that neighborhood, good. I just don't know if she's going to be having a party for the city council there. So I continue to drive, and then my phone is like, "Oh, you're getting close." No, my GPS in the car is like, "You're getting close," and then it says, "Hey, you're here." And for them, here was a gas station and a podiatrist's office. And I turned left and I got into the gas station, and I started to Google and look for the routes and stuff. And then I recalculated the route, and it turned out that I was on Von Stupp Boulevard, and I had headed west on Von Stupp Boulevard. Aaron, you're right. The beach is west. The party is not. Because the beach is all over the place. We're surrounded by beach, folks, out here. So for some reason, I wound up on the boulevard. I wound up in Inglewood, and it turned out I was now it's 5:01. Like I would have gotten there on time, except for the fact that I'm now 6 miles in the opposite direction. So I have to hop back on the road, and I fucking punch it, and I'm driving, and I'm zooming around fucking cars, and now it's 6 miles, but it's 6 miles on city streets. So there's cars, and there's stoplights, and there's bullshit, and so I'm fucking stop starting, and I'm just trying to get there, because I didn't. You know why? Look, I've been late before many times, but I didn't want her to think that I wasn't taking the gig seriously. I didn't want her to think that I was like, fuck this, who cares? That was not the case at all. I left my house an hour and 10 minutes before the gig, and almost an hour before when I was supposed to be there for her to, talk to me or whatever she wanted to do. So I'm fucking hustling, hustling, hustling. And then finally I get there and I park in the street. I go running in. And there was a very nice, rich white couple walking in the door. And I held the door for them. And I knew where they were going. And we went upstairs. I walked in. And this place is wall to wall. And everybody's drinking wine already. And I look and there's some old lady like behind the wine. Like she's in my bar. Get out of my bar, lady. So I walk in and I see Rachel and I go, how are you? And I just walk right by and she goes, all right, tell her that she's off and she can join the party. And I'm like, yay. So I got there at like 5:25 and I went behind the bar and then I opened up some Pinot and some Cab and I started pouring some wine for some people and was nice and pleasant. And the funniest part is, Rachel could not have been nicer, did not care that I was late, but, came up and hugged me and was like really sweet. And then, like I just said, I don't like to be tagged in the photos because then it's like, oh, look, there's Mike Schmidt who failed and he's behind some hot girls. I mean, it's just the weirdest thing. And I know that's just me in my own fucking head, all right? Because nobody else is looking at it and going, fucking Schmidt, bouncer. But that's where I'm at, head-wise. So then she kept introducing people to me and telling them who I was and what I do. She'd be like, "Oh my God, this is Mike Schmidt. He's he's an internet celebrity, and my husband loves his show. He has a real popular podcast." And I'm just, I go, and I did that thing, and I wind up doing all the time. I go, "They don't care. You don't care. It's nice to meet you." And they're like, "No, really, you do a show on the what? On the internet? We've heard of that." I'm like, "Yes, of course you have." Because these people are all like 60, you know what I mean? And there were some younger people, but they have kids and lives. They don't give a fuck about podcasts or funny guy or idiot. They don't give a shit about me. Give me some fucking Pinot, motherfucker, and shut the fuck up. Literally. But Rachel and her daughter Haley were really nice, and Haley has heard the show, so she's like, "I got to meet you." She was very nice, and she came up. And so they they pretended like it was a big deal. So maybe for her it was to have some guy from the internet pouring wine. I don't know, whatever the fuck. Who cares? She was very nice to me, and her daughter was extremely nice, and they kept introducing me to people who could not have cared less. Like, there was one woman I met who, this girl, Stephanie, they introduced me to her. And she, oh my gosh, I love comedy. I certainly love it. I'm sure you do. And she's like, and your show is, I go, don't ever listen to it. And she goes, what? I go, you will have no interest in hearing it. It is really rough. I swear a lot. And I say a lot of things that you would not enjoy. And she's like, oh, well, maybe my husband would like to give it a chat. I go, maybe he would, but I don't know your husband. But I'm telling you right now, you will not enjoy it at all.
You're so bad at promotion.
Well, but I'm serious. Are you kidding me? What if, because again, this is the first show since. All right, let's just say Stephanie, who had the fucking, had like a fucking $14,000 ring on her finger, and her husband's in the city council of whatever that city is, and she's going to go ahead and tune into the show. And the first thing I said on the show is, hey, I took a photo of my cock with a flash for the first time. She's going to go, she's going to vomit up last week's wine. Oh my God, I drank his filth wine. I got to get it out of my body for fuck's sake. Oh, that's awful. I can't believe I drank the wine that guy poured for me. Those hands that clutched that fucking Cabernet Sauvignon. Those hands that opened that Chardonnay. I saw him pull a cork out of a bottle, and now I know that he used those very hands to take a flash photo of his cock. I gotta vomit up this wine. Or she goes the other way. Either Stephanie's just like, I want to run back into that guy because I know he's taking flash photos of his cock. I didn't give that wine the respect I should have. I gotta watch him slowly twist that corkscrew and yank out that fucking cork.
Oh my God.
It's very exotic, very erotic. Exotic and erotic? On both? So I spent the whole time, like, whenever she would introduce me to somebody, I'd be like, and again, but the worst part, what's funny? I don't mind if you tell women about the show. I know this sounds stupid, because I can talk to them and be like, well, you probably don't want to listen or whatever. But when you tell a guy, to them it's just a dick swinging contest. You know what I mean? Because women are just like, let's put it, women would genuinely humor it. Like Stephanie, I think, was genuinely interested to hear that I was somebody who had something else going on somewhere else. Guys are like, give me some wine and shut the fuck up. They don't care. These fucking dudes in suits talking about their golf games and like, they want, I may as well have been an alien. And that's not even a joke. Like, in the future, like an iRobot or one of those movies where they just get a wine pouring robot and everybody ignores it. That's who I should have been. I should have just been the wine pouring robot with just like, you know what? Next time I get booked for this, I'm just going to wear a Daft Punk helmet. I'm just going to have a Daft Punk helmet on and nobody will fucking have to worry about me or what I do. Don't ever tell a guy that I have a fucking radio show or I'm a comedian, especially men, all right? Because women, you tell women I'm a comedian or you tell women that I'm funny or whatever, women are genuinely thoughtful creatures. And they'll be like, oh, well, that's great. You have a show. That's terrific. I'll have to check it out sometime. You tell a guy that I'm a comedian, they're like, he doesn't look funny to me. Say something funny, motherfucker. I'm serious. That's just the way it is because guys are competitive. So I'm already at a disadvantage because I'm in a service capacity to these fucking dudes, and they're all fucking whatever. You know who I am? I'm DiCaprio in Titanic. That's who I am. I show up at the fucking table, and it's like all those rich dudes are there, Billy Zane and everybody, and they're like, yeah, yeah, and they're fucking clinking their things and going to drink bourbon and smoke fucking cigars, and I'm gonna go off and have a dance with a bunch of Irish dudes in the goddamn basement. That's what I gotta fucking do. You know what? I'm going to do that next time Rachel invites me to a party. I'm just going to fucking DiCaprio the shit out of it because it's going to be all those women and all their rich husbands, and they're going to walk around talking about their country clubs, and then I'm going to walk up to that girl Stephanie with her giant fucking rock on her hand, and I'm going to hand her a book of matches and go, make it count. Meet me at the clock in an hour. Take that, Golfing City Council asshole. Go talk about a zoning program while I'm working your wife with a fucking jug band in the basement. Yeah, that's right. Your fucking wife's getting zithered while I hear a zither. Yes! Let's put it this way. If your wife gets a text and it's got like a text tone attached to it and it just goes, flash! Guess what photo just came through?
Oh
All right. Hold on. We got sirens and a helicopter. What the fuck's happening outside? You know what it is? It's the World War Z. World War Z is happening. Or it's The Purge. Could be The Purge. These are all new movies that are coming out with mayhem involved. So yeah, so I'm late, and I don't. Why? Because you know what I want to do. I want to do. Here's my worry. If I do this, people are going to listen to it for the first time ever, and they're going to think this is the show every week. If I do my idea that I want to do. I don't know. Why do I care?
Overthinking shit. Just do shit.
Do shit. All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put songs in this week. For no reason. Just because it means I don't have to fucking talk more. Because if I talk more to you people, you're going to hear more about like fucking stuff that's bad. Nobody wants to hear bad stuff because the show's about my life. Tough week. Larry, I just fucking, all right, I'll tell you, well, you know what? Here's my plan. And this is the show that Mex is going to kill me for. I just want to put a bunch of Mex songs in here, like a bunch of like songs, like make this like a radio show. Although fucking, what have I talked for 20 minutes? You know who's mad? The sponsors. Holy shit, the people who pay to advertise on this radio station are furious because I have just fucking Howard Bealed it and locked myself in the studio and I refuse to play any of the ads. Oh my God, they're pissed. As I walk around like a madman in a raincoat, which, by the way, never mind. So, I don't know. So I want to throw like, this was the plan. And Lily, all right, I need to know if you can do this. Here's the thing. Because normally I just talk. And then there's you at the end of the show. You have to listen to it again and again, over and over, unfortunately. What if can I put songs in here? Like actual, not like bits. Because maybe we'll throw a couple of bits in too, like just commercials. But like, can I put a whole song in? Like a 4.5 minute song? Like an actual David song? That's okay with you? Like, because I mean,
yeah.
well, because remember I wanted to do this last year. I thought of it. It was an idea that I had, and you were sick. And then I called you, and I'm like, here, I had a much. It's like I won't come to your house. I won't record a show. It was the rerun week. And I'm like, here's the thing. I'll just send you some songs, and you can mix some stuff in there. And you're just like, that's fucking 1,000,000 hours of work. So is this 1,000,000 hours of work?
Yeah, but that's all right. I feel good this week.
You sure?
It's not 1,000,000 hours of work.
So you lied last year, then, is what you're saying to me?
Well, it's not because you're here. It's not like I have to go pull audio and find it and get it and do. And yeah, you're talking. Then I'll put a little song in. Then you'll talk some more. It'll be great.
Wait a second. When did you become my Jewish aunt? When did that happen exactly? Yeah, talk some more. We'll make some soup. We'll have some broth. All right. So I should just. So now I've killed it. I should have just thrown it to a song and not even had all the speculation.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but yeah.
Yeah, I should have said, all right. I should just talk da 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 and bang, and then a song, right? Can we cut all this out? Let's cut all this out. No.
No, let's just go to a song.
May the with you. May your guiding light be strong. Build a stairway to heaven with a prince or a vagabond. And may you never love in vain. And in my heart you will remain forever young, forever young, forever young, forever young, forever young, forever young. And when you finally fly away, I'll be hoping that I served you well. For all the wisdom of a lifetime, no one can ever tell. But whatever road you choose, I'm right behind you, win or lose. Forever young, forever young, forever young, forever young, forever young, forever young.
See, shouldn't the show just be that? Shouldn't it just be music? Wouldn't that be pleasant? What if I did that? What if we just got Mex to write songs, or not even write songs, cover songs, or write songs? He could do all of that. And I just went, hey, here's Mex. Like that would be, well, actually, that's not a bad show for the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network. Hey, here's Mex. And if he wants to be on there, he can go ahead and host it, and he can throw it to himself. That's fine. But if he doesn't, then I will just be the host, and that's all I will say. Because this show is the one where I get to talk. If you want to hear me talk, folks, tune into the 40-Year-Old Boy Show. However, if you want to hear me just say, hey, here's Mex. You know what show you listen to? Hey, here's Mex. Not a bad show. That'll fit right in there with who will win in a fight, and what were the other shows we had? Takedown. God damn it. And we did 6 White Guys Talking. We had that show for a while, and I don't know if we ever aired 12 White Guys Talking. We had that. That was a pilot. It didn't test well. But maybe someday we'll throw 12 White Guys Talking up there. Because that, it's funny, the 12 White Guys Talking doesn't really work unless you've heard 6 White Guys Talking. So you're going to be a little lost. Although it's kind of self-explanatory. I mean, that's why they chose the name 12 White Guys Talking. In case you're going to be confused. But when we had our Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network meeting, they actually, all 12 of them came up to me and they said, we need a name for this show. I said, what's going to happen? They said, well, guess what? And I said, sorry, guess what is already taken as a title. Still waiting for that show to get all pumped up. God, I can't wait for Guess What to come out. Hey, here's Mex. This could also be titled the show Mex killed me for, or the show where Mex wanted to kill me. Like, remember how Friends used to always have the one where blah blah blah. This will be the one where Mex stabbed me, because he has no idea that I'm doing this. He does not know that I'm playing his songs. He doesn't know any of that. He's gonna know after the fact, 'cause I got to talk about the artwork, and I'm gonna be like, hey, and he's gonna go, what was the show about? Well, guess what? It was about you, sir. And there are songs involved, and he's going to go, and I guarantee this too. Here's the conversation. What songs? Well, I haven't picked them out yet. What are you talking about? You haven't picked them out yet? Because he's all freaked out. He's like me. Like, I never think anything I do is good enough. So I have a bunch of his songs at my house, and he's going to go, well, which ones are you picking? And because I sort of know. I'll be honest with you, I know one of them for sure. And so I'll tell him that one. Maybe that'll appease him, and I'll go, and I'm picking a couple more. Because, I mean, folks, there may be a couple more coming up here on the show. I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to break up the monotony of my voice as I come at you and I tell you all these things that are happening this week that are not good. That they're not good. Not good. It's a lot of knots. Now I'm Scott Ian. So, not. I poured wine last week, as I've mentioned, and I'm looking for any sort of gig, because here's why, folks. I will tell you this. If you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you know that last week I actually posted something where I said, hey, you guys have all been very nice about rooting for me about stuff. Well, today is a day where I would really like it if you, kind of exceptionally rooted for me. And it was stupid to put it out there. I won't lie. It was dumb. It was a foolish thing. But I felt... I was alone and at my house, and it couldn't hurt to have people thinking about you. I don't know what the fuck I thought. I have no idea. But all it was a hey, look at me gesture that I should not have done. Because I was vague about it, because I didn't want to say exactly what it was. So then everybody thought that I had lupus. Like, everybody thought I was going to die. Because, and also they don't know. Because, again, with the Karen shit hitting the fan still and all this different stuff, nobody knows what happened. So when I throw it out there, I'm like, hey, you guys, if you're rooting for me, today would be a really good day for you to root for me. People are just like, oh my God, are you going in for a blood test? Oh my Christ, did your arm fall off? Oh my God. Did Karen come back with her new boyfriend and actually take your fucking, the toaster? So now you have nothing to eat at your house? And only one of those is true, folks. I'll let you decide which one it is. How funny would that be if Karen got a new boyfriend and came back and took the toaster? Like, literally just... That's why she came over. Hey, I got to get this toaster. The one thing you still use to cook stuff, because that's all I eat is toast, as I've told you many times. She's doing very well, from what I understand. I don't know. We don't talk. I don't know if folks, did I ever tell you? Karen left. She moved out. So I put this out there, and people are just like, they don't know what to think. They're all like stunned. Like, what are you okay? Jesus Christ. And they're nice. A lot of them are like, dude, go get them. Haha, we're rooting for you. But then there are people who write me personal notes and stuff. And they're just like, Jesus, are you okay? Like, what's happening? What's going on? And all it was, 2 weeks ago, I was home, and I'm applying for jobs all the time, as you know, when I'm not out pouring wine for strangers or walking dogs. I'll actually tell you this. I went on Craigslist yesterday. I'll tell you this real fast. And I'm looking everywhere for jobs. And there was a job. These guys were hiring a cleanup crew. They said they needed a cleanup crew for a thing on the weekend in Burbank. So, and it said, we need a cleanup crew for a private party. And then it said, must send references. So I wrote on Twitter and on Facebook, I go, I cannot decide whether to send a picture of a broom or a mop. I'm not sure which of these gets me the gig faster. References, you dumb fuck. I can sweep a floor. So I took the chance and I wrote them anyway. I contacted them without the picture of the mop or the broom. Because people are like, dude, you should send a picture of a mop and a pail. It'd be so funny. But here's the thing. Yes, that would be so funny, but I need these jobs now. Like I was telling Lily, like I applied for something. I wanted to write, I'm handsome, charming, and loved as one of the, because they're like, give us 2 sentences about yourself, which is just all this gimmicky, dumb bullshit. Look at my resume and call me. And when I get in the studio or the office, I will convince you that I'm the guy. But these 2 sentences. So, I mean, of course I want to put I'm handsome, charming, and loved as one of the sentences, but I can't now because I have to actually get these gigs that I don't really want, but I do want them because I need them because I got to pay for my car. So I contacted those cleaning dudes, and the guy wrote me back, and he's like, I'm sorry, we're not looking at individuals right now. We're hoping to hire a cleaning crew for this event. And I wanted to write him back and go, well, excuse me for not being in a cleaning A-team. I mean, I didn't know that I was supposed to be in a cleaning club. You know, nobody, who the fuck hangs out and goes, God, I can't wait to scrub something? Nobody. There is not a group of people like a five-headed monster who's deciding that, like, is there, like, the Mighty Morphin Cleaning Rangers? Is that what you're waiting to come by? Teenage Mutant Ninja Scrubbers? What the fuck? A cleaning crew. It's not me and Ozone and Turbo in Breakin' 2 Electric Swifferoo, all right? What the fuck? I want to come to your house and dust. That's all I want to do, just me. All I want to do is make some dust. Me and Sheryl Crow, that's it. But motherfucker wants a crew. We want a whole group. Like, that works as a unit. I mean, it's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. And that's what I'm up against. That's what I'm up against. I can't even get a job to go in and wash a dish because I need to have 5 like-minded friends who all work in concert to get everything done. Unbelievable. Is there a crew out there that is pitching themselves for jobs on Craig? I can't. Jesus fucking Christ. So that's it. So I applied. And that's the guy who contacts me back, by the way. I contact millions of people a day. I send them my resume. I send them all these different things. And the guy who gets back to me is the dude who, I'm sorry, we need 5 of you. We need more of you. But you know what? Bring me in. Maybe you introduce me to that crew. Maybe I get into their crew. Maybe if you hire you and a crew, hire me and a crew. I come in and I'll follow right in with the crew. I'll be able to, or am I going to fuck it up? What if he does that? He hires a crew and they've got their like way of doing things and I'm just a dumb fuck who keeps making more messes. I'm spilling empty beers and knocking over full ashtrays. Get out of here. You're out of the crew. Turn in your cape and your fucking scrub brush, idiot. Yeah, capes. That's right, because they're a fucking crew. Jesus Christ. I picture them all, their moves are synchronized like a bunch of Alvin Ailey dancers as they go through and they clean your house with style. Fuck that. I can push a broom, motherfucker. I can run a mop.
Oh my God.
I just don't have 4 fucking guys who all look like me in matching suits. Nobody wants the Justice League of Cleaning to come to their house. How industrial is that mess? How dumb? What kind of a crazy party was that you've got to hire the fucking Legion of Doom with fucking mop and glow to come over to your place?
Oh my God.
Whatever. All right. So, but that's what I'm saying. Because, I mean, look, I've lowered myself to apply for that. Who is this guy? I just applied for a job, and this guy's like, hey, it's a construction site in L.A. You have to have general construction knowledge, but you won't be doing any construction. What you'll be doing is you'll be running to our certain locations. You'll be driving to Orange County or even further to San Diego or wherever you got to go. Wherever we need you to go, we'll pay you a gas stipend and we'll pay you a certain amount, and you just have to do it. And so I contacted the guy, and I'm like, I know nothing about construction, but I can drive a car. Like, I mean, it's like, why are you like, you need general construction knowledge, but you won't be doing any construction. You'll just be going on site and picking things up for us. If I don't know what a cinder block is, I'm sure I can ask somebody there, and they'll tell me what it is, and it'll fit nicely in my fucking car. All you're looking for is a fucking driver, but everybody's got this weird hoop. But tell us a little about yourself. What motherfucker? I own keys. That's what. 4 wheels and a fucking steering wheel. Done. My feet work. There's pedals in the car that I use to operate them with those same feet. Size 13s. I get a lot of pedal coverage. What the fuck are you looking for? All these people with these weird fucking rules and these and look, I understand there's a lot of maniacs out there. You don't want these fucking people signed up and coming in and maybe they don't clean properly or they steal shit or whatever. I get all that. But in truth, I don't get all that. If you already reduced yourself to applying on Craigslist, just recognize that you're going to have some things stolen from you at some point. If you've gone that far that you're reaching out to the hobos and the fucking ne'er-do-wells like myself who troll Craigslist looking for a job, please recognize that eventually you're going to lose a necklace. It's going to happen. We're all light-fingered, every single one of us, or we'd have real jobs. We wouldn't be looking on Craigslist for a fucking job. And by the way, this is why you should hire individuals from Craigslist, because we're all thieves. Why do you want an entire thief crew to come into your place? You hire one of us, maybe we get away with like some good silver, maybe a fork. You get a whole crew in there. That's the worst sequel to Ocean's 11 I've ever heard of in my life. Do you want Elliot Gould with a broom in your house? No, you don't. But that's exactly what you're looking for when you try to hire a whole goddamn crew. You bring in those 5 dudes in the matching suits to clean up, and they wheel in a box. They say it's a vacuum. You know what it is? Chinese acrobat. That guy steals your fucking Xbox. Take that. Chin Lu just made off with your fucking Batman Arkham Asylum game, and you've got nothing because you insisted on hiring a fucking crew. That's your problem, man. That crew shows up, they start sweeping up, and all of a sudden, oh, look, it's Carl Reiner in a mustache. He takes you outside, he talks to you for half an hour. Those guys clean you out. Your DVR is finished. so I'm trying to get at those gigs. So I threw it on Facebook where I was like asking people like whatever. And it was dumb. I shouldn't have done it because then I spent half the weekend telling people I'm not dying. Everything's okay. But in reality, 2 weeks ago, out of the blue, I got contacted for a gig, and like a writing gig, like a real gig, and it would have lasted 4 months. Which doesn't sound like a long time, but it would have meant 4 months of stability. And then with the amount of money I would have made, it would have meant basically I would have been good for the rest of the year. So I went and interviewed with the producers. They asked me to come in, and it was an awesome meeting. I had a great time. They were really cool guys, and they really liked me. And I was funny because again, they didn't know me. They just got me. I was referred to them by somebody, and they saw my resume and liked it, so they brought me in. And I come in and I sit down. I'm talking to the two of them. They were nice, really good guys. And the guy's phone went off in the middle of the meeting. And you know, I'm trying to get the gig, but I'm still me. But I can't be all of me yet because they can't see all of me because they'll never give me the gig. But his phone went off and I played Day Tripper. You know the song? And so I'm sitting there and he picked up the phone. He goes, "Man, I'm really sorry about that." He turns it off. I go, "Are you kidding me?" I go, "If the Beatles call, you have to take that call." I'm like, I'm not arrogant enough to think that I'm ahead of the Beatles at all. And laughs all around. We're all getting along. Everybody thinks I'm great. So they said to me, they go, and they loved it. I couldn't believe how smoothly it was going. And again, to not know them. And they informed me when the show, "Can you do this? We like your resume." And then right at the end, when because again, it sounded like they were staffing up super quick and kind of in a hurry, which is always kind of good because it means that they don't have to put you on the microscope with a bunch of other people. They'll just trust the work. So, you know, you don't get time for someone to go, "Oh, by the way, my cousin is available." Like, you know, all of the other shit you deal with at every other gig when you're trying to get it. And then just as we were closing up, they go, "Okay, now here's the thing. The network wants samples." And I was a little thrown by that. You know, I don't mind generating samples, but what that means is that the first impression and everything that I just made is great, but you have to do the work. I mean, you have to prove that you can do the work. Which is fine. Again, like I said, one of my favorite things I ever did, there was a guy named Rich Williams, who I think now is a hypnotist or something. I mean, he was out here and he was from Texas, and I knew him on the internet, but then he came out here and he got writing gigs, and he was actually writing at Best Damn Sports Show. And I saw him at the Improv, and he's like, "Hey, I'm quitting over there." And I said, "Really?" He goes, "You know, if you wanted to throw something in the mix, you know, send me some stuff. I'll hand it to him because they like me over there." And I think he was even the head writer. I said, "Okay." So that night I went home and I wrote like 15 sports jokes out of the news that day. And I sent them to Rich. And he writes me in the morning and he goes, "Jesus Christ." He goes, "This is funnier than anything I've ever written for them." Which was him being nice. And again, he was being because again, he was a self-deprecating guy, really funny. But he said it to me in email. He goes, "This is funnier than everything I've ever written for them. I'm happy to hand this to them." And of course, nothing. I heard nothing from them, didn't get the gig. And then it was funny, Pardo auditioned for, I think, a slot for them or something, and I rewrote some more sports stuff, and they came to him, they go like, "Dude, those jokes are great," because he and I, you know, we collaborated on them. And so I'm just like, I always proved I could write for these shows. It's just I can't fucking write for them. So I can do samples, man. I can do it quick. So I had to do samples for the show, and I basically had to write 40 jokes. All right. But it was a game show, but it was also comedy. I can't go into it. I can't tell you what it was or where it was supposed to be. But I will tell you this just because I'm proud of it, and I'm going to get in trouble, I'm sure, because Mex already is going, "Shut up!" Because I told Mex this, because I actually bounced my material off Mex before I sent it to them. And he's like, "Yeah," because I like it. I think it all works. They didn't want clever. They wanted kind of funny more than clever. But I like writing clever sometimes. So out of the 40 jokes, there were like 3 of them that I kind of included for me that were clever. Including one of them, like, it was a game show, and then the answer was braces. okay, like on your teeth, braces. And the clue that I gave was, let's get 28 things straight. Because oh, did you get that? Yeah. So it was that's a clue for someone to guess braces. Yes, it's funny and clever, I thought.
Smart.
Yes. So because another thing is, as you all know, and I've said, right from the top of your intelligence, you can't ever pander, because they tell you the demographic they're looking for. They tell you what they're looking to try to reach, and you have to have that in mind at all times. But what you do then is you try to be as smart and as clever as you possibly can in relating to that demographic. If they're looking for 25-year-old women, then you're like, all right, well, I've got to think of subject matter that would appeal to them and make it as smart and clever as I possibly can. So, again, I won't go into full details, but that was the one I was most proud of. Like, because and it was so funny. Even Dave went, yeah, that's a rough one. For what they're looking for. I go, I know, but I'm aware of that, and I included it for me because I still want these guys to know who I am and what I do. So everything else worked and was, on point, but I wanted to include a few in there that were just for me. So that was my favorite one. So I turned in my samples, and again, like I said, the meeting with them was fantastic. I went home that night and I wrote like 40 jokes. So the next morning I sent it in. And later that day, because I thought they were hiring immediately. And this was the Friday before Memorial Day. So later that day, I got an email from him, and he's like, we got your stuff. Right now it goes to network, and it looks like they're going to take their time a little bit. But, if you haven't heard from us by the middle of next week, feel free to contact us. Which I should tell you, from the second you send in your samples, all you do is sit there and twist your guts with a stick because you're waiting to hear if they liked what you did, if it matches the impression they had of you as a person when you were interviewing, and if it's acceptable to them, because that's the main thing. Whether they fucking because it is important that they like you, because they're going to be with you fucking 15 hours a day for the next 4 months, and they need to make sure that you're somebody they can hang out with and spend time with. Well, I had clinched that on the meeting. It would it would be me and these two producers and John and Paul and George and Ringo in a room enjoying our company. But then the material speaks, and you have to hope that the material speaks. So, and so when he said, if you haven't heard from us by next week, feel free to contact us, that's a bad sign. Because he didn't say, hey, we really liked your samples. Because the bottom line is, it doesn't matter what they think. They like me, and it's network. Depends on what network thinks. So, but I still would have liked to have heard, hey, good stuff, or hey, and you analyze every word, and you live in every minute and wonder what you could have done differently. And you look at the jokes and you go, you know what, I did the best I could. I did the best that I fucking could. What? But then you have to deal with the fact that that might not be good enough, and that's so fucking rough. And let's put it this way: when I've been in the mix for jobs and stuff like that in the past, and I wasn't good enough, or my samples didn't make it happen, that's a drag. But right now, you're listening to a guy who told you he has to get on Wheel of Fortune so he can win it. Like, it's not like, I don't want to just go on there because it'll be fun. I need to win it. Like, that'll be a payday. Like, I'm looking at it that way. Or when I play the Powerball, I don't play it like a lark. In my mind, I'm like, God, I need to win this. It's crazy and stupid. And I know it's not true, and I know I never will. But it doesn't matter. I'm saying it's a whole new set of stakes when you look at it like that. And as a guy who's sitting at home and getting 30 phone calls a day from credit card companies, and by the way, they found my cell phone. Two of them they've found it somehow. They've cracked the code. It took them a couple months. So that's happening now, and I don't want to declare bankruptcy. I don't want to do those things. I want to fucking get this gig. So, but then when they say, hey, if you haven't heard from us by the middle of next week, that makes it sound like I'm not a priority. And that makes it sound like maybe they didn't like what I did. And maybe the meeting didn't go as well as I thought it was. And maybe, just maybe, the Beatles didn't care for me, which makes no sense. Because I'll tell you what, the Kinks loved me when I met them and hung out when I had a meeting with them. And you know who really liked me? The Dave Clark Five. Holy shit, did the Dave Clark Five like me. They fucking, look, it wasn't the best meeting. All right, they did like me. You know who loved me? Holy shit, Jerry and the Pacemakers loved me. Those guys loved me. Fuck, they put me on a ferry across the Mersey just to talk to me. Yeah. Folks, I'm the man. Seriously, I am the fucking man. Where do you go to find Jerry and the Pacemakers jokes? Nowhere but here. Oh man, that's for nobody. That joke's for no one. Seriously. That's not even for Jerry. Jerry heard it and went, I'm out. Can't do it. In fact, that joke broke up the band. Because Jerry hated it. Two of the Pacemakers loved it. They couldn't even agree to disagree. They just splintered the group and went forth. And now you're left in a Jerry and the Pacemakers-less world. But as if they would still be together now. That's the weirdest presumption of all time. Are they? Oh my God. They've got to be playing some fair somewhere. Literally now they're the most ironically named band in the world, as it's literally Jerry and the Pacemakers. So these dudes, man, they're like, contact us next week. And that means that look, just call me. Again, I'm the talent. You got to call me, right? So now I have to spend the holiday weekend waiting to hear. But even worse than that, I got to spend the holiday weekend maybe not waiting to hear, because if they don't contact me, I'm supposed to call them, and I'm really bad at the chase. All right, because I feel that my work should speak for itself, and then the meeting, and then you want me, hire me. And that's stupid. Again, I don't mind calling and following up, but here's the thing. It's not that I think it's beneath me to call and follow up. I will call you all fucking day and follow up. What I think is you don't want me to call you all fucking day and follow up. That's the thing. I don't want to be needy. I don't want to be that guy who climbs into your fucking head. And if I have to call you, I feel like a dick. All right, if you want to hire me, hire me. And if I have to fucking chase it, again, not beneath me, I just feel like I'm being a fucking pest. And it's so funny. I don't think anybody has ever been in the running for a job, and when they called for it a second time to check him out, the guy went, fuck you, I'm not hiring you. You want this too much, you know? But who cares? In my brain, I think that's what they're thinking. The second I hang up the phone, they're all like, fuck, that guy won't leave us alone. And I know that's not the case, but it's all guessing bullshit. And again, I need the fucking job. So Memorial Day weekend passes, and then Monday, it was Memorial Day. Tuesday goes by, and then I figure out I don't call on Tuesday because he said the middle of next week. Now, with the holiday week, I don't know what the middle of next week is. I could sit down and add all the hours together and then divide and find out the exact time. Like the vernal equinox is what I'm supposed to fucking call this dude. Thursday morning at like 11:30. I don't know, but I decided in my head I'm going to call him Wednesday, because that's the middle of a traditional week. Holiday be damned. So I wait through Wednesday. I wait to hear. I hear nothing. And I finally wait until like 5:30. Because I figure all of the hard work of the day is gone. And also, I should tell you this. I know I don't have the job at that point. Because they would have called me. Because very rarely do they hire you and then not call you to tell you. Because work does not get done that way. I don't know how you folks run your lives, but a television show, you need to hire the writers and have them in the office for them to get anything done. Very rarely will they hire you in mystery and then hope that it just, they shine the writer signal into the air and you're supposed to show up and meet Commissioner Gordon on a rooftop somewhere. No. So when they don't call me, I know in my head, I go, well, fuck, I don't have the gig. And also, I'm predisposed to think I don't have the gig ever. I mean, I always tell myself that. Even in my many years of DJing, when I was locked in a room spinning the records in my raincoat and running around like I'm doing here today, I'm waiting for the boss to show up here and fire me, for fuck's sake. I have no idea what's going to happen. But I always knew, if they don't contact you, that's bad. So I wait till Wednesday. I call him at like 5:30. And he takes my call. He answers his phone. He was notified by the Beatles. The Beatles let him know that I was on the phone, of course. And he's like, hey, hi. And I said, hey, it's Mike. And I said, I'm calling just to follow up. You had mentioned to give you a call in the middle of the week. Yeah, unfortunately, network doesn't have a decision just yet. But if you want to give us a call by the end of the week, that's fine. And it's so funny because I had questions. Like I would like to say, well, what did you think of the samples? Or what do you think network thought? Or where's their process? Or how many guys are involved? Or, what time should I be there in the morning? I mean, there's a million things I want to say. But I just, at the same time, I want to get out of his hair because I don't want to be that pest, the guy who kept asking questions about a job. But I mean, fuck, I want to get a job. Why wouldn't I ask any fucking questions about it? This is the battle I fight, folks. So he's like, yeah, unfortunately they haven't made a decision. And I go, oh, okay. And he goes, yeah, it's up to network, and they're taking more time than I thought they would. But as soon as I know, you'll know. And if you want to give me a call by the end of the week, and I go, all right, well, do you want me to be a pest about this and call you, or wait to hear from you? He goes, whatever you want to do. If you want to give me, which is, by the way, the worst answer you can ever give. Whatever you want to do. What do I want to do? I want to show up tomorrow and just start writing jokes. And have you look at me and just go, why are you here? Well, no, you hired me, obviously. Clack, 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 clack. Here's a joke. But no, I can't do that. So I'm like, all right, cool. All right, bye. And you know who I am? I'm like Philip Seymour Hoffman in Boogie Nights when he first meets Mark Wahlberg. I'm like, yeah, you work on the show. I want to work on the show. Yeah. It's like awful, fat in a tank top, just staring at this beautiful thing that I want that I can't have. So I hang up the phone, and the thing is, there's a couple of people who know that I'm in the running. Lily knows I'm in the running for this. David knows I'm in the running for this, and also it harms our schedule a little bit with me and Lily because I recorded on Tuesday of that week because she was going out of town, and then she's on her way to Vegas on Wednesday. Oh, actually, you didn't even leave till late. You wanted to leave early, and you didn't leave till late. But she was nice enough to check in with me and say, how's it going? What happened? And I'm like, nothing yet, and I got to tell everybody nothing yet. So then Thursday goes by and they don't call me. And then Friday shows up. And this is the end of the week. And I should tell you this, when I got hired by Funniest Pets and People, same thing. I went in and I met them. I was referred by 2 different people that they knew and trusted. They still made me come in and meet the producers, meet the guy who runs the production company, and meet the second in command. I met all of those people. And then it was great. The meeting was great. They ran me into 3 different offices to meet 5 different people. And then at the end of it, they went, well, we'd like to get some samples from you, some samples of your work. So they didn't have me generate samples from clips. They had me just provide stuff that I had. So I sent them 20 monologue jokes and some captions that I had done for Funny Money for photos. And I sent all that in. And then the next day, they didn't call me. And then the next day after that, they called me first thing in the morning. They said, hey, they need to see more. And I had led with my best. I had fired off, 20 solid monologue jokes. So I'm like, well, and I knew this guy a little bit. So I'm like, well, what do they want? And he goes, they just want funny. He goes, don't worry about it. It's not a bad thing. This is just what they do. So I had to submit more jokes. And I actually wrote some in the moment. So I wrote like 5 out of the news that day. And then I had some other jokes that I submitted, and then I sent on some writing samples. Like I had written a million years ago when I had submitted for the Man Show. I wrote a bunch of stuff. So I took from that. I took all of whatever I could do. I just kitchen sinked them, and I sent them like 40 bits. And that was on a Wednesday, and then they didn't call me on Thursday. And then Friday came, and I in my head, I'm like, well, I know I don't have the job. So all of a sudden, Friday night at 5:15 p.m., is when Funniest Pets and People called me and made the offer and told me they were hiring me and I needed to start on Monday or Tuesday because it was a Labor Day weekend. And I was ecstatic. But again, I twisted my guts up for fucking 4 days, sending a million samples. So I've been through this and I know what it's all about. So Friday comes and I don't hear from them and I just assume that I don't have it. I'm still trying to have that weird confidence. But at the same time, it's like, well, this isn't going to happen. I know it's not going to happen. I'm kind of in my own mind cushioning the blow. But I should tell you, there's also reasons for optimism because even though I don't hear from them calling them and I don't call them, and I had that one discussion, he sent me an email and he's like, hey, can you send me 3 references? So just when I think I'm out of it, I get an email that says that I'm still in it. And that means Network wants to know who these guys are. They're going to refer me. And so I might be cushioning the blow and thinking to myself, well, I'm never going to get it. But then there's these reasons, these little... The window gets open a little bit and there's shafts of light that come through and I think, you know what? I have a shot at this. I still really have a shot at this. Hey, here's Mex.
Lady Madonna, children at your feet, wonder how you manage to make ends meet. Who finds money when you pay the rent? Did you think that money was every cent? Friday night arrives without a suitcase. Sunday morning creeping like a nun. Monday's child has learned to tie his bootlace. See how they run. Lady Madonna, baby at your breast. Lady Madonna, lying on the bed. Listen to the music playing in your head. Tuesday afternoon is never ending. Wednesday morning papers didn't come. Thursday night your stockings needed mending. See how they run. Lady Madonna, children at your feet. Wonder how you manage to make ends meet.
Meg's demanded that one go in there when I called him about the artwork. I should tell you that. Because I'm like, remember I told you earlier I was going to call him and he's going to go, which ones? Guess what he did? I told him, I go, hey, dude, I'm playing songs by you. Which ones? It was like the first thing out of his mouth. And so I let him pick one, and then I'm going to pick the other two. But, you know, because that one, the one that was Lady Madonna that just played. And, well, I thought it tied in nicely with the Beatles. It was funny when he insisted that it get played. I'm like, well, that's cool. I talked about the Beatles. We'll throw that in there for sure. But, you know, that was one of the ones he most recently recorded. But the stuff that I have, I've had stuff for years. And so I tell him, well, I'm thinking of using this. No, my God, no. And I'm like, dude. And he goes, no, it was like, it was recorded so long ago and I don't know how it sounds. It's going to sound bad. And I go, dude, you don't listen, anything to get away from hearing me talk. That's what people want. It could be you, Rudy Valley, crooning through a fucking megaphone. And everybody's like, yay, Mike's not talking anymore. That's all people want. It could be just like you with two spoons. I don't know if I'd play that song with the spoons. That seems complicated. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. What if I had actually had spoons? What if I was so prepared for that I pulled spoons out of my pocket? What if I carried them everywhere I went? My wife used to have a harmonica in her fucking purse all the time. What if I just adopted spoons? I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm jumping in. You know what I call that? Impromptu band? No. I call it a pretty good way to get somebody to stop playing their fucking harmonica. That's what I call it. If someone starts blasting away on a harmonica, and if you pull out spoons, first of all, that's completely off rhythm. I don't know who keeps up with that harmonica-wise. I don't know why can't I come up with a spoons thing that would work? Yeah, there you go. That's a much better spoons rhythm. All right, so
Is that Crazy Train?
Crazy Train on spoons. Bing, boom, boom, what if I did the whole song? All right, so what if I actually pulled out spoons and did the whole song? Because apparently Love thinks it works. All right, so when last we left our hero, he was getting emails asking for references. And I should tell you, you know, I've worked a few jobs, but a lot of my stuff has been independent, me. So I didn't want to send like friend references like comics and stuff. So I had to send stuff from previous jobs. So there's a guy named Pat who's a good friend of mine, and also he's hired me for 2 shows, and then also used me on like 4 pilots that didn't get picked up. So he was my top reference. I used him, and then I used our friend Lily's ex-husband, who hired me for several different writing gigs, including Saints Row, which I've talked about on here. And then I had another guy from another job I worked. So I wrote them out. And the thing is, before I sent them, I made sure to contact these guys. And I'm like, hey, I talked to David and I talked to Pat. I did not call the other person. And I'm like, they're going to be calling you. I didn't lie. I'm just telling you that they're going to be calling you because I'm always hinky about giving up my friends' information, even though it's professional capacity, and certainly they're used to getting calls for references anyway. I don't like using people because it just seems weird. I know that sounds dumb because if you're in your car, because, especially David doesn't run a company. I mean, he does, but I didn't work for his company, and now he's independent. So if they call him while he's in his car and they're like looking for a reference, it might get him off guard. So I want to make sure he knows someone's going to be calling. Pat's different. Pat's at his company, but I had to make sure that David was briefed, and I had to make sure that Pat knew everything too. I mean, I just feel like a dick. Because again, I haven't seen David in a while, so for him to get just like a reference call, it just seems like a dick move, and I wanted to make sure he was cool with it. So So I sent him back the references, and I was all gassed. Now I'm excited because I'm like, well, I'm still in the mix. The network wants to know references. But then, just like with the samples, you wonder, oh my God, are my references strong enough? Are they? That's one of the reasons why I contact them, to make sure that they know they need to sell you a little bit, because fuck, I need the gig. So everybody was very cool, and they were very nice, and I submitted the references. So then Friday, like I said, comes along, and I finally call late in the day, and he's like, we have no answer for you. I'm really sorry. I don't have an answer. He goes, I'm hoping to hear something by the end of the day. And this was at 5 o'clock. Now, again, on television shows, end of the day could be midnight. I mean, we have no fucking clue. So I said, and it was that same thing where I called him and I go, hey, it's Mike Schmidt. I had talked to him on Wednesday, so now I'm talking to him Friday. I'm like, hey, it's Mike Schmidt. And Mike, I do not have an answer for you. I'm real sorry about that. I go, okay, no problem. That's good. It is a problem, and it is not good, but I have to say those things. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, no problem. Because I'm hoping to have something by the end of the day. I said, great. Do you want me to be a pest about this and call you, or wait to hear from you? He goes, you know what? I'll let you know the second I know. Which, to me, he's being very nice. He's saying, the second I know, I will contact you. But what I hear is, don't fucking call me again. If I have any information for you, motherfucker, I will call you. Or maybe I'll call one of your 3 fucking references and they can get the information to you. But stop fucking calling me. I know he didn't mean it like that. I know he was being very nice and just basically saying, hey, as soon as I have some information from the network, I will be happy to relay this to you because we really enjoyed our meeting with you and we're fighting for you. But all I hear is, fuck you, hang up. If you fucking call me again, not only will I not hire you, I will call the president of show business and make sure nobody ever fucking hires you. Stop calling me. You think I got time to answer my fucking phone and hear you say 8 words twice a week? Fuck that. Remember how we really liked you last week? 2 phone calls have kicked that in the balls. Because that's how my head works, folks. So I can't wait to get off the phone, even though I have questions. I want to ask questions and network, and I want to know my odds, which is always a bad thing to ask the producer. And again, I recognize the fact that this guy's all for me. Like, he's fighting for me. So I had posted that thing on Facebook that morning where I actually wrote, I was like, hey, if you guys are, because I figured Friday was the day that I was going to get information. So in the daytime I had posted that. So then after I have that conversation with him, and he's like, I'll let you know. And I'm still getting emails from people and people posting on my wall that night. And they're like, we're rooting for you, Mike. Ha ha, we're behind you. And I'm just like, oh, man, I feel stupid for dragging people into this, because then I'm still also getting emails and they're like, look, and look, you guys are so cool, because there's people that I've met. I've met a couple of Marks. I've met a Michael. I've met a bunch of people on the road. And they have my phone number, and they'll text me. So the second I put that up, I start getting texted from people, and they're like, if you need to talk about anything. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What was that?
Oh my God, you scared me.
Is that a dog? That's a cat.
Oh, it's a cat.
When the fuck did a cat show up?
I forgot.
You are kidding me. I jumped out of my fucking seat. You saw me jump.
Oh my God.
Something just made a noise, like I heard it, and it bumped my leg, and I jumped out of the fucking chair. Did I hit the microphone? I had to hit the microphone.
I was too busy laughing at you.
What the fuck? When did you get a cat?
I didn't get a cat. I have one on loan.
On loan?
My friend is out of town, and she said, would you watch my cat for a couple days?
And you don't think you could fucking tell me that?
I forgot.
I've been here for 4. Where the fuck has this cat been? I've been here for 4 hours. I got here at what, 4?
She's tired, obviously. Oh, sweetie.
Holy shit, that scared the shit. Why, are you talking to me? I hope you're talking to me, oh sweetie, because that scared the fuck out of me.
Oh, baby, come back, girl. Come here. It's okay.
Well, I didn't hit it.
No, but she jumped after you jumped. Did you not?
Well, fuck, she came up to me and said meow and like hit my leg.
She gave you a...
Bah, 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 I don't give a fuck. I'm not expecting that. Text me. Let me know you're coming. Jesus Christ. Fuck you and your sneaky cat bullshit. I am not ready for this. I'm talking to people all over the world right now. I don't need to get interrupted by some 4-pawed creature that wants to fuck everything up. You're coming in here to steal my soul? I'm not even asleep. Back the fuck off. Jesus Christ, that scared the shit out of me. I'm not proud of it. I'm not happy to be a pussy right now, but you don't even know. I'm sitting here talking, and I'm looking at Lily. I'm looking forward, and I hear that noise. I'm in the oldest building in Hollywood. That could have been that could have been the possum. The fucking possum could have been coming back for fucking revenge. It's taken this long to fucking find me.
Holy shit.
Oh my God, did that scare the shit out of me? Because it touched me. If it doesn't touch me, like it just makes a noise, that's one thing. But it made the noise and touch me simultaneously? Like a fucking weird ghost? Like a fucking a shin-level ghost? I fuck a shin-level ghost. I'm not a fan of a shin-level ghost. Fuck that. Creeping along on the floor? Stand up, ghost. Fucking let me see all of you, because I'm going to fucking take you on. If I got a ghost who looks me in the eye, that's one thing. But a shin-level ghost? I am fucked. I'm not going to go stomping on a shin-level ghost. I stand up, I start dancing around like I'm in the fucking basement of Titanic, dancing with the Irish band from earlier.
Oh my God.
Make it count. Meet me at the clock, cat. You and I are going round and round. Holy shit. So is this that lives here now?
Just for a couple days.
When were you going to tell me?
I forgot she was here. She's very quiet.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
She's a ninja. She spends a lot of time just sleeping. Oh, baby.
Oh, you better be talking to me. Honestly, that was... You gotta tell me this stuff. I mean, we're in the oldest building in Hollywood. That could have been... That could have been a velociraptor. I mean, I don't know what's lurking in these hallways. Some sort of weird saber-toothed fucking mammoth tiny little baby. I don't know what hatched in this building. I don't know what lives here. I saw Quarantine. Who knows what fucking lives here? That was an awesome movie from what I could see. I couldn't look up from the floor. You know why? Got my eyes on the ground looking for a shit-level ghost. That's how it happens at a theater. I miss half the movie because I got my head down there looking for a shit-level ghost. That's where they get you. Movie theater. Go right up your pant leg. It's awful. Then you got a haunted scrotum.
Oh, baby. It's okay.
Jesus. Look, I have a history with cats. That she could be coming to get, like, you know what I mean? She knows what happened before.
No, you don't get to pick that cat up. That cat's on loan.
Look, this is a radio station, all right? You can't have just animals running to and fro in here. I've locked the doors. I'm spinning the black circle. I'm making people listen to my cuts. I'm throwing it to KMEX, and what happens? Out of nowhere, some fucking shin-level ghost comes out and creeps me the fuck out. God damn it. Oh. Where was that thing 3 months ago when we had a moth the size of a fucking biplane in here?
I don't know.
We'd had a Wayne Cotter bit come to life right here in the fucking kitchen. Fuck. What the fuck was I even talking about? I don't even know. That fucking cat wants references. All right. And look, I am not a pussy, folks. I know what animals are, and I've seen them on the street many times, and I enjoy them. They've got 4 feet and they tails, and you pet them, and they're nice and they're friendly. But when it sneaks up on you, that's fucked. And because I mean, look, I've been coming here. How long have I been coming here? 4 years, 3 years to this particular building, and we all know what's on the outside of these walls. It's terrible. So who knows what fucking got into your apartment? It scared the shit out of me. Could have been a mole or a vole or a wombat. All right. I was shaking. I know that sounds weird. I jumped up and like my hands were shaking.
It was awesome.
That's not awesome. That's fucking terrible. What is our cat's name?
Girl.
Girl.
Oddly enough, it's a girl.
Oh, it's a girl? Oh, okay. Well, thank you for clearing that up. I hate to think there was some kind of weird mystery between one of your freako friends who named it girl, but it's a boy. He's got a tranny cat. Good. That's good. The LGBT crowd has a transgender cat in your house. It's Hollywood. Who the fuck knows? It might be. Girl. I'm shaking up. I got to relax. I got to calm down. You know, it's funny. I have a friend who calls his wife girl. Hey, here's Max.
my lonely room, day after day. Bring it home, baby, make it soon. I give my love to looking out of my lonely room, day after day. Bring it home, baby, make it soon. I give my love to you. I remember finding out about you. Every day my mind is all around you. Looking out of my lonely room, day after day. Bring it home, baby, make it soon. I give my love to you. Something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I have to beware. Bad lies being known. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds, getting so much resistance from behind. What a feeling for the beat. 1,000 people in the street.
You know, the only reason I started a podcast in the first place was to be able to play that song for people. That is my favorite Dave song. I think it's actually one of the first ones he ever sent, which you can, he was so mad. Again, he's like, what are you playing? And I told him that was probably going to be in there. He's like, no. I go, what do you mean, no? I go, dude, the whole idea of this came about because I had my headphones on and I had my tweakedaudio.com/40 earbuds in and that song came on and it sounded fucking like magic in my ears. Like it reminded me of when you sent it and everything. It's so great. That's a version of Day After Day by Badfinger, but Dave did a spin on it, as you heard. And when I remember when he first sent it to me, I just went, Jesus Christ, that's because I know he's talented and I know all that stuff, but he was still he's Mex. He's my friend Mex. But then he sends that and I'm like, wow, this is what you do? You can do this in your house? Like you can just do that sort of thing? And that was what, so I want people to hear that. I actually play it, at the live shows. It's in the mix. Cause I'll always throw a David song into the pre-show mix. And what the cool thing is, people go, hey, that's David. I'm like, yes, they know. So I told him I was playing that. He's like, no, dude, that's like me with like a Casio piano in some basement. I'm like, yeah, so what? It sounds fucking amazing. I don't want to hear you bitching about it. He's like, well, I'll defer to you. And I go, yeah, you're goddamn right you will, because I had my earbuds in and it sounded fucking great. Because it's just different. It's a spin. It's fun. It's great stuff. And I mean, I look, and as I've told you, I shouldn't even fucking be talking. We should be playing all of his songs. I should just go ahead and load in all of his stuff, and then you'll hear that. Everything will be fine. Everything will be fine with all of us forever. That's my gig. I got to get a DJ job. That's what I have to do. I have to get a DJ job at like KMEX and just play fucking Mex. Hey, here's Mex. Hey, here's Mex. That's it. I'll just throw every song to, hey, here's Mex. It'll be perfect. So, where were we? I don't even know where we were. I almost got killed by an animal. I know that. There was a.
You were talking about references, I think.
I was talking about girl.
No, but before that.
Yeah, well, all right.
references and-
Before somebody touched my leg in the dark. Ah. By the way,
dark
it is
in
dark. It is dark in here. Theater of the mind, folks. It is so dark in here right now. We have all the lights out when we do the show. You know, Lily, she's like, I don't want to wear clothes this week. I'm like, fine, just turn all the lights off. It'll be fine. Because I can't stare at you and concentrate at that point.
Oh my god.
So, and that's, by the way, remember when I talked about my flash going off when I took a picture of my cock? It was in here because that's how dark it was. Lily was so furious. What are you doing? That's why we do the show in the dark. God damn it. See, it comes full circle. Look at what you folks are getting yourselves into. It's amazing, right? It's just amazing. It's fun. We're all having fun here at KMEX. As I'm locked in the booth and I'm just spinning Mex tunes. All right. Oh my God, Mex tunes. There you go. He shouldn't even do like Explosions of It or the fucking Facebook stuff. He just have Mex tunes, TOONS, and just like make his own comic strip happen. Oh, it's perfect. But isn't there who's that dude who writes for the LA Weekly? What's his name? Laszlo Alcaraz? Is that his name? And he does like very Hispanic themed cartoons. Yeah. I wonder if there'll be a problem with him and Mex tunes. They'll have a battle. They'll have a crazy battle. All right. Literally, I was going to say racist things for like an hour there, and I just went, shut the fuck up, dude. What are you doing? I can't do it. We've got our little girl is here. I can't possibly. She's so impressionable. I don't want to ruin her. Yeah, they wanted the references, which made me think, which is good news. That's good news, because again, I'm still in the mix. Now I should tell you, this is, I lost my security gig in November. All right. So I'm out, what am I out, 6 months, 7 months I'm out of work. And then my wife left in March. Things are not going well, as I've told you. So, by the way, spoiler alert. I don't know if any of you heard. You know what's funny? It's even a spoiler alert from earlier in the show. Because I said, hey, my wife left. I don't know if I told you. And I'm delivering the spoiler alert an hour later. Idiot. So I wind up, I'm looking for a gig, and I'm applying for gigs all the time, and I'm applying for any gig. Like I said, I've walked dogs, I've poured wine, I'm applying for cleaning crews and customer service and schlepping things to construction sites. But I've always maintained that I want to get a job doing what I do, which is the writing thing. So I apply not only for writing jobs for television, but I also apply for jobs that are they call themselves writing. Remember, I almost got the porn thing, but by almost got it, I mean I applied for it. Yes. As far as I'm concerned, folks, if I apply for a job, I was so close. I almost got it because it arrived in their inbox, and that was like, look, I'm in the mix. Holy shit, I'm in the mix. So I did the porn. I tried to get the porn thing, and then we tried to get another porn company to use me as an on-air. That went south. Everything went south. And people are really nice. Because, I talked about the LA Podcast Festival, and people are asking me if I'm on it, and I'm like, I haven't been asked. I don't think so. So then people are, and you guys, again, you're so cool. Because in the past, I've had things, and I've turned people loose. And I go, yeah, write these guys. Let them know. And then it turned out to be bad because they didn't like getting written by anybody. So then people now write me like really cautiously, and they're like, Mike, is it okay if we write the LA Podcast Festival to see if you're going to be on? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. It doesn't, and they're like, yeah, but that didn't work out very well for you the last time. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to love an anecdote that does not end with, that didn't work out very well for you the last time. I can't wait till I can deliver that story. So I don't care, man. I stop nobody. If you guys want to, because there's a guy, our listener Robert Chaz Shoot, who's a nice guy, and he writes Rogan every week to try to get me on the show. Everybody's really cool. Someone just started writing to Jay Moore now to try to get me on. I forget who that was. A couple people actually have written Jay Moore trying to get me on, and so then I actually wrote on that one, and I go, hey, and I thought you were great in action. Does that help at all? At all? Because I did. He was fucking fantastic in action. So, and is there anything more weird than when you're somebody who's not on your radar screen at all, and is popular and is doing well? Like Jay Moore was popular from Saturday Night Live, and he did characters and people liked him, and I was just kind of like, nah, that's Jay Moore. I know that he's doing that. And then action comes out, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? He's awesome. Why? That's great. I remember watching the premiere for Action, and I was like, this changes TV for me because it was sarcastic and smart and kind of mean, and I dug it. I was like, this is something I could really watch. And of course, it was canceled in 3 episodes, I think. But he was playing like a Barry Diller type character, and it was I just thought it was great, and then it went south. So I apply for all these different gigs, as I've said, and I don't get any interviews. I don't get called. Very rarely does anybody contact me, but I will tell you this: I had an interview, and I alluded to it a few weeks ago, where I said to you, I didn't want to fuck things up because I had an interview and I wasn't sure what was going to happen. So I applied for a job online, and it was for writing. How do I put this? Do you know what SEO means? Search engine optimization. Where basically you're going to websites and you're writing articles that people can find by Googling stuff, and then they'll find it. It's just you're gaming the system. That's all you're doing. So these people are offering $15 an hour. I'm sorry, it said $12 to $15 an hour, and it was full time. And you would go in and write for them. And here's the thing: I should tell you this. They always put their ad on Craigslist, and I would see it, and then I applied for it, and I never get a call. They never contact me. And then Paul Goebel wrote me, and he's like, hey, I applied to these people like 6 months ago, and now I'm working, and they've contacted me for a gig, and like I can't do it, so you should contact them. So then I did. I contacted them via the email that they sent him. They never responded to me. And I was like, why am I not getting called? I mean, I'm applying. I have a writing resume. It just makes no sense. So a couple months pass, and then I apply. It comes up again on Craigslist. They're putting up their ad like every 2 weeks. 3 weeks. So I see it and I go, all right, well, you know what? I'm doing it again. So I fire off another application. This time they call me. And they contact me and they're like, hey, they want me to take a writing test. I think I told you guys about this a few weeks ago. So they, did I tell this whole story? I don't know if I did. Did I?
You didn't tell the whole story, no.
All right. Well, just recapping. They wanted me to take a writing test, and I took the writing test, and they called me in 5 minutes. I told that part, right? Yeah, because they were just like, oh, absolutely, we definitely need to see you. You need to come in here. So I'm like, I'm going to get this job. And at the time, look, I don't want that job. I need a job, though. And the way I look at it is if I get that job, that's cool, and it keeps me afloat while I look for other stuff, and I can pay my bills, and everybody's happy. So they schedule an interview, so I go in for the interview. Now, this is my first interview in forever, for literally forever. That seems like a terrible usage of both those words. Really? That seems like a misusage of both of those words. Maybe I'm not the writer I thought I was. I'm certainly not a wordsmith. So I go park, and I drive, and it's close to my house. It's actually by my favorite breakfast burrito house, which I've talked about on here. So I go and I park. I go inside, and it's got one of those stupid names, like, Amalgamated Internet Express Incorporated, like all that bullshit generic nonsense. Like they threw a thesaurus in the air and they shot it, and whatever landed on their desk, they pieced together like those fridge magnets and made it into the name of their fucking company. So it's on the wall. It's like with a winner, best new business 2007. I'm like, oh well, 6 years later, you've got me in for an interview. Good for you. I'm waiting. I talk to the lady behind the desk. She says, have a seat. And again, I've got my test. No matter what happens, I know I destroyed the test. I dominated it. It's a timed test. I had to write 2 different articles, and I just killed it. I knew I did. So I'm sitting in this room, and essentially, let me explain to you what this job is. It's the new telemarketing. You know how telemarketers used to call you and they'd have a script and they'd bother you and try to get you to buy something? Well, now the internet has they still have those, but the internet has gotten it to a higher level, and they're going to try to trick you with long scripts about stuff, and all with these code words and buzzwords that are going to trick you into buying something. Because I should tell you, the test that I took, I had to write 2 different pages about a grapefruit diet. Astonishing news in the world of healthcare, as the new grapefruit diet out of South Africa has changed obesity forever. All that bullshit. It's garbage writing, and it's just trickery and chicanery, and I can do it in my fucking sleep. So I sit there and I'm waiting, and as I'm waiting, like, people who are working there keep coming in and out, and I kind of peek in the room. It's It's a boiler room. It's the old school boiler room, but instead of being on the phone, these motherfuckers are all churning out copy to try to trick search engines into finding this bullshit mango papaya diet from South Africa or whatever the fuck. So they're writing all that, and it's a bunch of young guys, and they're all hanging out, and everybody's having a good time, and it's that thing. So they're all convincing themselves that they're changing the world. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but I'm sitting in the lobby under a sign that declared this the best business of 2006. Yeah, because there was a 2007 and a 2006. I was underneath the 2006. So I'm waiting, and she says he'll be with you in a second, and then the guy came out to interview me, and he's not wearing a suit. Like I fully expected like a crazy shark skin suit with slicked back hair to come out, like some weird huckster internet Pat Riley to get me, and either that or I expected the Music Man to come out with a fucking baton. We got trouble right here in Internet City. I mean, I was waiting to see what would happen. With a capital T, and that rhymes with C, and that stands for coding. Can you code? So I'm in the fucking chair. Ah, girl. Yeah, you're back. I hear you. You know we're doing a show. Yes? You know what, by the way? I really hope people heard that before I lost my mind. Because if they didn't, it's just going to sound like I went crazy for no reason at all. I didn't even think about that because the cat is on, it's a shin level ghost. So, I mean, I have no idea if it's noises, if it's boos, if it's scary moaning reached up into the microphone. I don't know. I have no idea. And I should put the mic. What if I did? I leaned the mic. Hey. All right.
Really?
I got to prove that it's here. Everybody else is like, he lost his mind over a fake cat poltergeist. It was crazy. Don't want that to happen.
A poltergeist?
That's from the Young Ones.
I know.
Yeah. Well, I
love that reference.
Yeah, no, it's my favorite.
Oh my
All right.
God.
I've got 6 pairs of arms, Rick. I'm Krishna. All right, so. Folks, I'm waiting to get a job at the best internet company of 2005. Now. So I'm waiting to be interviewed, and I expect this dude to come out in a suit and try to trick me into bullshit, and instead, he's just a normal-looking dude. And he's like, hello, how is you? He actually said, how is you? How it is you? I'm like, I is great. What are you doing? And he's like, let's go upstairs. So they take me upstairs to a conference room. And it's just me and him. And in the other room, there's people you can just hear clacking away as they're all writing about that miracle diet that involves pomegranate seeds. And whatever the fuck, literally any fruit that they can wing in there that they find cheap on the street. The gourd diet. You know what I mean? Just, hey, who wants to eat a pumpkin? Like, just call it that. Hey, who wants to eat a pumpkin.com? Let's get people on board for this, damn it. So he sits me down at the conference table, and it's a 12-person conference table, but thankfully he didn't sit far away. He's right. He's a normal guy. And he has my resume and all my information, and he just starts with, so you wrote for TV? And I said, yeah. And he goes, you write shows? I said, well, I did. I have in the past. Why are you here for this job? I said, well, I think it's something that I can do. Right now I do need a job. I've been out of work for a while, but I got to be honest. Did you see my test? Because again, I have nothing to say to him at this point. Did you see my test? Because he only has my resume in his hand. And he goes, yes, you took a test online that then we choose to interview you. And I go, yeah, well, if you saw my test, I think you understand that I have a real aptitude for this. And it's something that I think I can do well. And I'd like the opportunity to prove that to you and anybody else who goes ahead and checks out your site. I mean, I think I can do this very well. Because I don't want to sell myself, certainly not to this guy, but I am because I need the gig. And he's reading he keeps flipping my resume because I have 2 pages on my resume. And he's, you know how to use search engine? And I said, I do. I said, I've been on the internet for quite a while. And he goes, okay, because it's about search engine. I said, yes, I understand that. So you know how to use search engine? I do. I'm actually on the internet quite a bit. I mean, I applied for this job on the internet. So that should give you an idea that I definitely know how to run it, how to work it. Okay. It says, now how much do you want to pay? I said, well, you guys had a range of $12 to $15 an hour. I said, I'd actually like to start at 15 because I think if you see my test, did you see my test? Yes, we saw a test. All right, if you saw my test, I think you can recognize that I absolutely can do this job and do it well and do it quickly. Yes. You use search engine? And now I think he's fucking with me. Because he literally asks me again. And I just go, yeah, I use a search engine all the time. And he goes, what are you do now? I said, well, I do a podcast on the internet. I do stand-up comedy. I've been doing that since that, you see on my resume, my last job ended. So since then, I've been doing this. I wind up doing a podcast. I go on the road. I do shows. Podcast. Yeah, it's like, it's almost like an internet radio show. So you do a show on the internet. I do, actually, every week. It comes out every Wednesday. What is show name? Oh, no. It's called The 40-Year-Old Boy. Writes it down on the resume. I see. So you use search engine? Yes, I do, because you know what? I do a show every week on the internet. I'm aware of how the internet works. I'm there all the time. I have a website. You have a website? I do. It's MikeSchmidtComedy.com. It's right there on the top of the resume. Oh. So how many people listen to show? Well, it varies. I said, but I get people all over the world listening to the show. That's kind of the cool thing. You know, podcasting, anybody can listen to it anytime that they want. So you can listen in the daytime, nighttime, but it comes out every Thursday. So how many people listen to show? And I tell him an estimate of how many. You know, I said some weeks I've had as high as 9,000. Sometimes it's been less than that. It's an average. Sometimes I had 15,000 one week. It's crazy. It changes. And I try to explain that as gently as I can because I know the very next question. And I do my best to tiptoe around actual numbers, but it doesn't fucking matter because right when I finish talking, he goes, you have mailing list? I do. That's very smart. We use mailing list too. You perhaps you use mailing list if you work here. And so now he understands that I have an internet radio show and I have access to people, and he wants access to those fucking people. And look, you guys have been very careful and very trusting with your information to me, and you get on my mailing list, and that's fantastic, and I do appreciate that. And I would never betray your trust unless it meant getting a fucking job. So I'm like, well, I do have a mailing list. I go, I have to contact them once a week to tell them my show's out. Do you use search engine? Yes, I use the search engine. Do you do any coding? Do you know how to code or do Photoshop? I said, no, I understood it was a writing job. The test I took was for writing. Did you see my test? Because I did very well on the test. Yes. All right, but you do definitely use the search engine. Holy God, yes. Are we talking about the same thing? Like for me, search engine is like Yahoo or Google or Bing. For you, is it some sort of repetition machine that I don't know anything about? Is it like a steam engine? Because I don't know how many times I've got to say fucking yes to you. But I did. Yes, absolutely. I enjoy using it. I enjoy search engines. What? So he says, all right. So we still have 50 people to interview for a job.
What?
And I go, all right. I said, well, and he goes, yes, so thank you for coming in. I go, yes, that's fine. I go, but you saw my test, right? I mean, you saw the test and you see my resume. We'll keep on file, but you might get hired after the next 50, but we have to talk to 50 more. And I stood up and I go, okay, but let me tell you something. I don't know how many people you've interviewed before me, but I can tell you that in the next 50, you are never going to find anybody who can do this job as well as I can or as quickly as I can. I just want to make sure I said that before I left. Thank you for time. Thank you for coming. Shook my hand and I walked out. And I got to be honest, man. As I've said, it's not beneath me, but I didn't want that gig. But I wanted it I had to have it. Like I had to have it. You know what I mean? I just I needed it. Because even if they pay me $12 an hour, because that was the thing is I asked for the 15. I should also tell you, he's like, well, we started at 12, and it's like, well, then don't put fucking 12 to 15 in the fucking ad. I'm distracted because the whole that your house smells like chicken soup now. I don't know who's cooking it.
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah,
either.
that's crazy.
Weird.
Maybe the cat whipping up some chicken soup.
I don't think so.
I hope not. Wait, hold on a second. You don't think so?
No.
You sure?
She's just laying down.
Oh, there she is. Okay. All right. Well, so you had a beat on that before you even said you don't think
I
so.
knew where she was.
Oh, so you
I
cheated.
knew she was in the kitchen.
Yeah, because the stove is behind you. So I think we would both have a pretty solid grasp on the fact that the cat was making soup. But I'm glad you chimed in with, I don't think so. How tired of me are you? Seriously, how tired of me are you at this point?
Making soup.
Just staring at Facebook, reading your burlesque history, just, inadvertently writing the title of a show down periodically on a legal pad. You just want me out of your fucking house, and I get it.
That is not true. I thought it would be funny to say that I didn't think the cat was cooking soup. Like maybe she was.
You just want me
I
out.
thought it was funny.
No, it was great.
You did not.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
You use search engine?
No, I do not.
You use soup engine?
I do not.
I need to invent the soup engine. That's what I need to do.
Oh my god.
Holy shit, an engine that runs on soup?
There's a lot of stuff around soup with you.
I love soup. I love the word. I love soup itself.
Stop.
I'm sorry. I'm hooked on it. Soups and sandwiches.
I'm gonna look up soupengine.com and see if it's
Oh
available.
my God. That's what SEO means. Soup engine optimization, baby. Just throw the word noodle into fucking anything you write 5 or 6 times. Boom. You are picked up by the soup engine optimization.
Oh fuck.
Soup engine's a great name for a band. And one word. That would be, because that fits on a bass drum. Soup engine? Fuck yes. I'm in. You know what? I play them at KMEX. That's the only other band that gets played besides Mex. Hey, here's Soup Engine. Perfect. Oh, Christ. So that was the only other interview I've been on. So I mean, I'm experiencing tragedy in this search. So I'm prepared for it. I'm ready for bad things to happen. So these guys get my references, and it's at like 5:45. And I should tell you this, by the way. The writing job, they're not paying by the hour. I mean, that's a job, and a job I could do, and a job I want, and a job that would really make all the problems go away. It would be amazing, right? So, after I give them my references, and then Friday comes and he tells me when I talk to him on the phone, he's like, yeah, I'm hoping to have an answer for the end of the day. Well, I don't know when the end of the day is going to come. But I spend the next hour or so telling people that are in the know, like Lily and David and some other people, hey, no word yet, which is good because it's not bad, but it's not good because it's sort of bad. Like, I'm going to try to qualify it and explain it. But I'm pretty sure I don't have the gig because, again, it's Friday night and it's late. And when are they starting? And if they're going to start Monday with the new writing crew, then they would let me know by Friday night. But again, I've been through this before. I don't fucking know what to think. I'm just a DJ. I am what I play. So I'm sitting there, and as I'm sitting there, my phone bings, and I look, and I have an email from these people. And it just says, I am terribly sorry, and I'm fucking heartbroken. Because that's all I can see. When I open it up, you just see the opening of the email. Mike, I'm terribly sorry. And I'm like, oh, dude. But I knew. And then I clicked on it, and it opens up and it says, I'm terribly sorry, but it looks like we're not going to have an answer until Monday. Network is taking their time with this, and please know that I do apologize, but we will definitely get in touch with you. If you don't hear from us Monday, let us know. Give us a call. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, this still can't be true. But then here's the thing. Here's the logic. I'm like, well, this guy was really nice and he liked me, but maybe he just doesn't want to tell me no. But that's the stupidest logic in the world, because I've worked in television. They don't give a fuck about telling you no. They will tell you no immediately. If they don't want you, there's so many other people in the mix, they have to cut you loose. They will let you know when to let you go. So I'm like, I took that as fabulous news. And here's the bad thing. I took it as such great news that I took it to mean I had the gig. Like it was this weird thing where I kind of floated a little bit. I was like, awesome, because it wasn't terrible news, but it wasn't the great news I wanted, but it was still good news. So I took that into the weekend, and I'm like, oh man, it's fine. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Who knows what's going to happen, but I'm still in the mix, and that's great news. And maybe my references will come through. All of this should work out great. We come to Monday morning, and I'm waiting Monday, and then Monday afternoon comes. And I was scheduled to do something and I wasn't sure if I could. It was whatever. I had to change my schedule around, but my phone was always handy to see if they were going to contact me. And then I knew I was working for Lily that night, and I didn't want to call them Monday, because I didn't want to be the needy guy. I had already called them on Friday. I'd called them the previous Wednesday. And again, as you know, when I call, they'll say stuff like, hey, Mike, we're sorry we don't have a decision yet. And all I hear is, Mike, fuck you, jump off a bridge. Mike, we're sending a cat to eat your heart during your part-time job. So I decided I wasn't going to call Monday. And that is hard. Because I was awake and I was up and I was waiting to hear what the fuck was going to happen. And I'm just sitting there and time's ticking away and people are nice. And it's funny, all the people on Facebook who were rooting for me on Friday, then on Monday, they write me and they're like, hey, what happened on Friday? And, so I have to go, the Friday thing became a Monday thing. And then people were very nice. They're like, all right, still backing you up, Schmitty, which was really cool. And then Monday was ticking away. And then my buddy Pat writes me and he's like, hey, would you hear anything? And I go, nope. He goes, call him. I said, I don't want to call them. I said, I called them twice last week, and I figure if I get it, they'll call me. I'm just being a pest at this point. And he just writes, squeaky wheel. And part of me was like, yes, I understand that, but as silly as my logic is that calling will cost me the job, I have to think it's sillier logic to think that calling will get me the job. Ring, ring. Oh, hello, Mike. You were hired. We forgot to tell you. I just don't think it's going to come down to who makes the proper call at the right time. So I told Pat, I go, look, I understand that, but I called them Friday. I'm just out. I can't do it. And he's like, all right, well, good luck. And we're all rooting for you. Everybody's rooting for me, which is great. And then I hear nothing on Monday. Nothing. So I haven't heard, Friday, Monday. And now I'm just, in my head, I'm just like, oh, man, I can't. I said, all right, I will call them right when I wake up on Tuesday. Because that was my trade-off for waiting till Tuesday. Because usually I call late in the day. Well, I figured I would trade off and I would call them Tuesday, but I'd call them earlier in the day, right when I got up. See how that works, folks? See the logic of a fucking doomed man? I should also tell you this. I told Pat when I went to lunch, because there were people, inner circle people who knew what was going on, and I didn't want to. I felt stupid constantly telling them. Because again, I'm going through the process myself, which is bad enough. But now I've got people who know me who keep going, what's going on? What's happening? And I felt terrible for them because they're hoping it goes well for me. And they've had to sit through my shit life for the past fucking 4 months. And so again, and you guys have sat through it for 6 fucking years. Like I said, I've always said, I can't wait till I have the great story where I get to tell you the great ending. This is going to be awesome. So I told Pat, I go, you know what? I'm not going to bother you with this anymore. I go, but on Facebook, he goes, what are you going to tell? What do you tell people on Facebook? I said, I'm not going to tell them anything, until I know definitively. But I will put something on the wall. I said, here's what I'm going to put. I said, if I get the gig or I don't get the gig, I'm going to have 2 different things. If I get the gig, I'm just going to write, Princeton can use a guy like Joel. And if I don't get the gig, I'm just going to write, looks like University of Illinois. And he looks at me and he just goes, that's really funny. And I'm like, yeah. I go, because nobody will have any idea what it means. But if you know the movie and you know the scene from Risky Business, the ultimate triumph is, hey, guess what? Princeton can use a guy like Joel. And, if you don't get it, well, it looks like University of Illinois. So we laughed about that, but I was planning on it, and I could not wait to type the words, Princeton can use a guy like Joel. And Monday dissolves. I go to sleep. I wake up Tuesday and I grab my cell phone on the bed table next to me. And I hit my emails. And my top emails from the producer. And all I can see again is that little preview. And it says, Mike, I'm terribly sorry. And I knew. Because I didn't think there was any way he was contacting me at noon to tell me he was terribly sorry that they didn't have an answer for me yet this morning. But I sat there in my chair. I sleep in a chair. And I opened it anyway. And it just said, hey, I'm terribly sorry, but the network has decided to go in a different direction. Your stuff was great. We really liked it. But they had a specific voice in mind, and there were a lot of applicants. And they decided to go with other people, but we really liked you. We want to keep you on file for something in the future. And if we hear of anything else, we'll definitely throw you into the mix for that. And like I said, it was dangerous for what had happened on Friday for me to think that I was still in the mix, because for some reason it took a load off, because I felt going into the weekend, I took it to be too good of news. Like I was starting to find satisfaction in being in the mix rather than getting the job, even though I needed the job, and I desperately needed the job, because it would have changed everything. It absolutely would have changed my life. Because it would have meant that I could stop getting 30 phone calls a day from credit card people and start paying them again. And, and I actually, you sit there, and again, when it's quiet, I always talk about when it's quiet, how your thoughts start to take over and go different directions. And I should be honest, I spent my first paycheck in my head. And it's so funny. I wasn't going to celebrate and have sushi or go out and do any of those things. I was going to send $100 to every credit card and then go stock up on toiletries and food for my house, because I've been eating toast. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I love toast. Toast is great. I should be happy, actually, that Karen and her new boyfriend left the toaster behind. But man, in my head, I was like, you know what? I can buy 20 yogurts, and I can get all this water, and I can get these deodorants, and I can buy 5 close-ups, and I can, because that was my mentality as a kid. When we were poor as kids, I would go without. And so as I got older, I always wanted to make sure that I didn't go without, so I would buy things in bulk. And it was funny. Karen thought it was funny, because I would buy 5 close-ups or 5 deodorants, or I'd buy 5 packs of razor blades, or I'd buy all these different things. And it was because if I ever was caught short, if I ever was caught without, I didn't want to have the basic necessities taken away from me once I ran out of them. So I wanted to make sure I never ran out of them. So to not get the gig was rough. Having to tell my inner circle of people who knew was even worse, because they're tired of bad news from me. People are tired of bad news from me. Because then they have to come up with a prop. They have to tell me it'll be okay, and that shouldn't be their fucking job, That shouldn't be your relationship with your friends, is them constantly telling you that it's going to be okay. I don't want to be reassured that it's going to be okay. I want them to know. I want to show them that it's going to be okay. I don't want them to have to fucking think that they need to tell me all the time that it's going to be fine and to just hang in there. God damn it, how tired are you of being told to hang in there? And I don't mean that literally. I mean, I'm glad that people have decided that I'm worth cheering up or worth carrying through, but I mean it in the abstract, in that I'm tired of living a life that people need to tell me to hang in there for. I wish I had lived a life that people didn't think that I needed to hang in, that I actually kind of enjoyed. I wish it wasn't such a race of endurance. You know what I mean? I'd like to live life, not endure it, for fuck's sake. And I don't mean that in some weird way. Everybody's got their own shit going on. Everybody's got their own triumphs and their own defeats. And but man, fuck. It all starts right here. It starts right where you're sitting or right where you're standing. Only you know what your situation is, and only you know how you're going to be able to make it out. And I sit there and I think, and that was such a Hail Mary. It was such a out of the blue, freakish occurrence that I actually in my head kind of went, this is supposed to happen. I mean, because that's always happened to me. And it was always a mantra that I had with Karen. We would look at each other and go, it's going to work out. Always does. And she decided that mantra was not working any longer. And she and her boyfriend grabbed my toaster and got the fuck out of town. But now I say it by myself. I have to tell myself that it'll work out in the face of mounting evidence that it won't. Just in the shadow of a mountain of evidence that proves otherwise. And I should take pride in this. Actually, I should, because for 2 weeks I was in the mix. I held my own. I was in strong with a show and other writers, and it just happened to be the coin flip didn't go my way this time. And network liked my stuff. The producers loved my stuff, and I should know that should be enough to show me that I can do this, that I am a guy who can qualify and work at these jobs and make it happen. It's just a matter of getting the right phone call. I used to tell Pardo, man, it's just the right suit who makes the right decision at the right time, and you're a fucking superstar. And I believe that for him. And I guess I'm supposed to believe it for me, but Jesus Christ, as you see it fading, as you see the light dimming, as you see and you think and you realize and you wonder if 25 years has been a mistake, and it isn't. You hope it isn't. And I'm not reaching out to you guys for any sort of reassurance. You guys did all that on Friday, and thank you, and I appreciate it. But in the dark, and when it's quiet, and in a mirror, and when you look at yourself and you go, man, you got $400. And that's it. Because, I was covered through June. And that's why when this thing came along, when it did, I thought, man, this is going to be perfect. Because it's going to make it happen. It's going to cover the rest of the year, and I'll be fine. And everything will be back straight. And now it's the deassembling of a life. It's the lawyers. And it's the fucking getting rid of things and talking to these people and doing anything you can. And I've been doing anything I could, but I've always had the hope that it's going to change. And I'll always wind up doing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing the thing that I'm best at. But I guess the world needs ditch diggers too. Hey, here's Vex. What a fucking dope. What song could I possibly put in there? What could save that? Holy shit. What could possibly save that horrible moment? Good Lord. A guy's life just evaporated into thin air. Hey, here's Max. You know what? I could call him now and make him write a fucking song. And it wouldn't work. Oh, Christ. We're having fun. Are we having fun, folks? You guys can get me at mike@mikeshmidtcomedy.com. You guys can be my friend at facebook.com/the40year-old-boy. You can follow me at twitter.com/the40year-old-boy. You can be our friend David Mex Hernandez, his friend at facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. Does all the music and the artwork for the show, and all the songs you heard earlier, all him. Every instrument, every word, every sung note. So go ahead and be his friend at Facebook. If you want to be our friend, Lily Von Stup's friend at facebook.com/Lily Von Stup. And you can follow her at Twitter on a few accounts, twitter.com/Lily Von Stup and twitter.com/MNTs. And if you'd like to write her a personal note and find out just how many more fucking animals she's got lurking around this apartment that are going to jump on me in the dark, for fuck's sake, you can go ahead and write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com. They asked me, they're like, all right, is your name Michael Schmidt? Yes. And they asked me a question, I'm biting my lip, and literally it's like Elvis is on a lie detector test. Say, man, I didn't take nothing. Somebody put a note on that monkey. All right, so.
Schmitty comes alive on the Joe Business page at MikeSchmidtComedy.com.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. I held Lily in suspense there. I was staring at her until she made eye contact with me. I wouldn't talk. Eye contact with me, I wouldn't talk. Jesus Christ. I've been here a while, folks. Been here a long time. I got to get the fuck out of here. Lily's got Arby's on the way here. I don't want to be here when that shows up. That's America's roast beef. Yes, sir. Again, the Monday Night Teas at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine every Monday night at 10 o'clock p.m. America's longest-running burlesque show, Southern California's hottest burlesque show, the greatest show in the history of people peeling their clothes off. I happen to know the producer of that show. Look, I know the doorman for that show, too. He's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
He's a surly jagoff. However, the woman who books the show, the woman with a heart of gold, has put up with him and decided to give him money every week and keep him alive, and he's appreciative of that fact. Her name is Lily Von Stupp. Hi, Lily.
Hi, Mike.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Other than the fact that you've decided to take in boarders.
I haven't taken in board.
Other than the fact that you've decided to run a petting zoo out of the oldest building in Hollywood.
I did. I've opened a petting zoo. Would you like to pet my pussy?
Wow. Who sang that song? Is that Electric Acid? Who the fuck is it?
I don't know.
My pussy's real pretty. What's that fucking song? Do 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 do. Fuck.
Remember?
I can't remember who it is. God damn it.
Not my pussy anyway. It's a pussy on loan.
Yeah.
I have a pussy on loan.
Oh well, you're a fan of having spare pussy in the house.
I am.
So this week's Monday Night Teas was a fantastic show.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. That was great stuff. It was an international burlesque extravaganza. All these people from out of town, and crazy. Look, you know me, folks. I love the art of the tease. Certainly, I enjoy burlesque itself in all of its baggy pants glory. However, I do tend to find myself leaning a little more toward the strippery type girls. Like I'm a fan of that. And look, I understand when people get the job done and they do their thing, and that's cool. And I understand that you're doing all sorts of burlesque stuff and taking your clothes off in an artful way to music, and folks, there's something to be said for the combination of the art of the tease with the curve of the nape of the neck and the amazing fucking hips on the girl Violetta Beretta from fucking Hawaii. Oh, is it Violetta Beretta or Violetta Beretta?
The one from Hawaii, Violetta Beretta.
It is Violetta Beretta, which it should be.
Yeah.
And she did like a hula thing and took the grass skirt off, and then she had like a G-string over a G-string, and she had ass tassels. Oh man, that was that thing again. I've talked about this before, where you just see a girl and you're like, yeah, I'm never gonna fuck that girl ever, and that hurts bad. Like it hurts. It just hurts. As a dude, when you see it, you'd see, because it's like going to the museum, and when you see a beautiful statue, you see beautiful artwork, and you're just like, woof. I don't say that to paintings and artwork so much as I do to hot girls who are stripping. But she was just, and those girls from Japan. And what was, all right, I got to ask you this. What was with the girls from Japan being top heavy? Like, I talked to Chris, the bartender, too, and we were both like, because that little girl, the girl who closed the show, Mika Kawa, is that her name, or what was her name? Violet Eva. She closed the show. She came out and stood next to me at one point, and there was full-on side boob on display because of her costume. And I'm looking at her, and she's tiny too. She's like fucking wedding cake size, and I'm like, oh my, dude, what's Japan for spinner? I mean, it was just like so.
Oh shit! I learned what was Japanese for boobs, and now I forgot. Ionai. Ah, Jesus, I can't remember.
She had plenty of Ionai, I'll tell you that. That girl had a rack. I mean, it was like stunned. And our Tiffany Blue from Australia was there. And then the girls from New York, because again, it was not just international people. It was people from all over the United States as well. Like I said, we had the Hawaiian girl. And Ginger Twist came in from New York. And there was a girl. All right, let me tell you this story, folks. There's a girl named Tiny D who was in town from New York, from Brooklyn. And she walked in, and I saw her, and I kind of did a double take because I got to type sometimes. But then when she came out to do her dance quick. Oh, now let me tell you what the word is. Word up, because she was fucking amazing and hot and dancing. And her costume's like super expensive. I guess it's like a fancy super. Because when she did her dance and stripping, she couldn't throw it on the ground. Usually the girls throw their costumes, and it's like a big part of the show. Well, she had someone along the side of the stage when she would do her dance and take it off. She would hand it to the pickup artist on the side of the stage because it was too nice to throw. And then she fit, and she was. Remember, I talked about a girl last week who was built like a thumb, but was like crazy hot. What is it?
Opie.
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 I don't know what Ioni is. I want to know what Ioni means.
Opie.
Opie. All right, so there's that's what boobs are in Japanese. Yeah. Well, that was. Well, isn't there? Who do we know named Opie? Isn't there? I thought we knew someone named Opie. No, I could be making that up. Actually, I think there's a snake who lives in the house here named Opie, so that's good news. Yes, there's girl. Coming back for more. What was weird is for 4 hours I didn't see her. Now she's never left this room.
she met you and liked you.
That could be it. I have that effect. So yeah, plenty of Opie on display. But this girl, Tiny D, I remember I talked about a girl last week being thick and kind of like linebackerish, like Tiny D. Because she's half a midget. That's her whole deal. And then she's thick around like the legs and the arms, and her boobs and just fucking holy shit, dude. And so she finishes. And comes off stage, and there's this guy named Rob who's always at the show, and he doesn't know me. He's always at the show, but he knows me at the door to say hi, so I know his name because he's always on the list. So he's standing by the bar, and Tiny D finishes, and she goes in the back, and there's like an intermission, and Rob comes up to me, and he's like, "Wow, this is a great show." And I go, "Man, that last chick, holy God." He goes, "What was her name? Tiny D?" And I go, "Yeah." I said, "I tell you what, if that girl's wearing glasses, she doesn't even get out of my basement."
You did it.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't know me. So I'm talking to people like I think that, like I would talk on the show, or I would talk to people who know me. Literally, it was like, hey, if that girl's wearing glasses, she never gets out of my basement.
Oh my God.
And he does this thing. He's got a little fedora on, and he looks at me, and I actually saw his shoulders slump a little bit like, oh, I'm talking to a murderer. Like, I mean, it was that weird realization where he's like, no wonder you're working the door. You're a fucking psychopath. Man, if that girl's wearing glasses, she never gets out of my basement. I think I heard a little like a yelp came out of his throat, like, "Ike, what?" Or maybe he said, "Opie, Opie, oh my God," because he turned around and walked away, like there was no ha ha or we're all chums or we're friendly or I know that you're kidding or I'm going to call the police. Nothing. He just kind of slumped his shoulders and walked away.
Oh shit!
Saddened by my kidnapping plan of the girl from Brooklyn.
Holy shit!
Man, if that girl's wearing glasses, she never gets out of my basement. Sad. Wave of sadness rushes over the bar. Guy creeps away and goes to his wife. So now I gotta tell you, I hope nothing happens to Tiny D, man. I gotta hope she's protected for the rest of her fucking life, because if anything happens, Rob's calling the cops immediately. Hey, there was a scary, surly Jagoff doorman who had some fucking designs on that chick. We might want to keep an eye on him.
Holy shit!
So watch what you say is my point. But it was a great show, and then all the Japanese were there. What was the girl did the Ghostbusters thing? She actually had a proton pack, a bedazzled, vajazzled fucking protein pack. She took dude. Imagine checking that in at the airport. Oh, and you know what's funny? Leaving Japan, that's no big deal. Oh, you're bringing your Ghostbusters rhinestone proton pack? Very well. Get on the plane. But getting off in America, there's like, you got your Ghostbusters rhinestone proton pack? What the fuck? Let's wait in this room for 6 hours. And then who was the dude? Capelia. Capelia Circus was there. And who was the gentleman? Giancarlo or?
Gilbert de
Mocos. Gilbert de Mocos. Which was a very Japanese name. And but he was quite Japanese. And he came out in a muscle suit and a luchador mask. And he stripped off to that. And then he had like 4 G-strings on and he kept taking them off and being progressively more naked. It was awesome, dude. That guy was the greatest. And just this shot of energy. Dude, when people know what they're doing in burlesque, it's so great to watch. Because he came out and just controlled the fucking room and throttled it. And, we're all seeing girls and we all want to see hot girls, but we also want to see them to do an act that is fun and interesting and exciting. And every single one of the acts that was there Monday were that. Violetta Beretta with her hula thing, and then she pumped it up at the end with that other music. And then the local people, Nikita Bitch Project was there, as well as April Showers. April Showers killed it because she's just fucking crazy beautiful. And it was just a fantastic show. It's always, your room is so much more fun when there's, for me, people that I haven't seen because it adds a whole new energy level to it. And also, there's so many great people in Los Angeles. I never get tired of watching them, but at the same time, when you add in new blood with the people from Los Angeles, it just changes the whole complexion of it. And these people were the best of the best because they're in town for the Burlesque Hall of Fame. And then there were people who came that were also burlesque performers but weren't dancing, but they came just to see. It was like when you would be a comedian and you'd go see an amazing comic, like go see Dave Chappelle, and you're in the back of the room with like 10 other comics and you're just sitting there watching someone who's the best at what they do. Well, in the room on Monday night, there were people in the back of the room, burlesque dancers, who were there just to see great burlesque in action because fucking art recognizes art and game recognizes game. It was fun. It was great to be there. And I cannot believe I just said game recognizes game.
Oh, and Opie recognizes Opie.
Opie does recognize Opie. So it was great, man. And I loved it. I was happy to be there, and I'm glad that I was involved. And this Monday, of course, tickets are on sale now at brownpapertickets.com for this week's Monday Night Tease and upcoming Monday Night Teases, I would imagine. What's coming up at the show this week?
More out of town.
Oh, people from Burlesque Hall of Fame?
A boylesque performer who's an award winner named Paco Fish.
Paco Fish will be there.
Maryland. I have.
Now, I want to say this real quick because you plugged Paco Fish on stage, which sounds horribly dirty, but you mentioned that Paco Fish would be coming, and Ginger Twist and Tiny D from New York went, woo, and started clapping and went crazy. Yeah. So obviously East Coast recognizes this guy, and they know that he's good.
He's amazing. Then I have Grace Hall out of Rome, Italy.
Wow, an Italian act? Jesus.
Yes, she's phenomenal. She's going to do a song and a strip.
I think you mispronounced her name.
Why?
What did you say?
Grace Hall.
Because I think it's Grace of the Hall.
No, it's not.
Oh, all right, just checking. I don't know. She's from Italy.
And then we have 2011 Miss Burlesque Australia, Sina King coming as well.
Sina King. I cannot wait to see her down under.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. Well, that's going to be fantastic. What? You're done? You gave up on me? Stop that nonsense. And are you involved in the show? Are you picking up? Are you hosting? Are you doing anything cool?
I'm doing nothing. We also have Isa Levamp locally, Red Snapper, and Dizzy Von Dam. So it's another.
Those are hard hitters from Los Angeles.
Cast.
Yeah, and then also people from international waters and coming over, and that'll be fun. And who's hosting?
Snapper and Buddy are hosting. Micah Cover's doing some magic. I mean, it's going to be an all-around great show.
I'm a Micah Cover fan. Yeah. Micah was at the Friday night happy hour a couple of weeks ago, and he did an amazing trick that just, he kept. I make fun of magic, but when I see magic and I don't know how it's done, that's what I want. I just want to see magic that I don't know how it's done. I don't need you to explain it ever. And Micah did a trick that was fucking awesome that night. So good. He'll be there this Monday. So you got magic from Micah Cover. You've got Snapper and Buddy doing their burlesque snapper, crazy baggy pants stuff up top and all throughout the show as their hosts. And you've got international acts from Italy and Australia. You've got people in from Baltimore, our friend Paco Fish, and then all the hard hitters from L.A. Yeah. Tickets are on sale now at Burlesque. No, they're at brownpapertickets.com. Yeah. You can go to burlesque411.com for any information, right?
Monday Night Tease is the best site.
MondayNightTease.com has all the information that you're going to need. But go to brownpapertickets.com and search Lily Von Stupp or search Monday Night Tease, and you will get tickets to this show as well as the shows in the upcoming weeks. I understand in 2 weeks we've got 2 shows on a Monday night.
Yeah, we have a Doc and Stumpy show, and then we have a whole nother show after that as well.
Cool. So plenty of tickets on sale. Go to brownpapertickets.com to pick up those tickets to see the Monday Night Tease at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine, 10 o'clock p.m. every Monday night. I will be there. I hope to see you there as well. Go to facebook.com/the40year-old-boy to become my friend and look at other stuff. I post jokes on there sometimes because I try to be funny. And remember to be David Hernandez's friend also on Facebook, and you can find Lily Von Stupp on there on Facebook. Go to the MikeSchmidtComedy.com website and go to the Joe Business page. And you can go ahead and pick up. There's some shirts left. I did not write the blog entry that I threatened to write last week because I'm a dick, but I will, I swear, explaining what shirts are left. We have artwork prints, and if you've ordered an artwork print, Mex has told me that he's very close on getting those out the door to me, and then Lily and I will sign them and get them on to you. Remember, tweakedaudio.com/40 has been nice enough to sponsor the show for a long time. If you go to their website, you can go ahead and get autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds. I'm not sure if the Cockring watches are back in stock, but you can check on those. Tweakedaudio.com/40. And also Zazzle.com. There's mugs, Thorgar and Yeet mug and the Fireboy mug. Those are available for a bit longer until we decide to change the artwork, I think, is the telling point. So once Mex can get that taken care of, then once he's done recording the song for the end of the show and doing the artwork and then killing me for playing his music, he'll get right on that. So that's, like I said, shirts, mugs, earbuds, possible Cockring watches. artwork, and then plenty of audio available for you there. The For the Life of Schmitty single is available that you can purchase right there at the Joe Business page. And also the Schmitty Comes Alive download from the Los Angeles Podcast Festival last year. That's available right now for purchase. And year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5 of this podcast are available as individual purchases or together as part of the UN of Evil set. You can get the Schmitty, the Woj, the Stooley, or is it the Steely or the Jimmy O? I don't remember. The Mex or the Evil Dennis. You can pick those up individually, or you can get them together for 5 for the price of 4. And I'll announce this now. Why not? You know, I have a CD coming out from Special Thing Records. I just had a meeting with them this week to talk about the release date. It looks like July. I think we're all starting to finalize everything and get everything taken care of. But we have a title. I can tell you that, folks. We have a title for the CD. It's called The Big Angry. So that will be available in July. The Big Angry is coming out in, we don't have an official date, but I was talking to Matt. They're figuring out the video and the audio. Video? There's no video. What if we had video of the audio? That'd be great. What if we had video of them editing the audio? That'd be perfect. Probably worth more than the album. And then we're doing the artwork and stuff. But it's called, it's Mike Schmidt, The Big Angry. And that'll be out in July. And as soon as I know, you'll know. And that'll be available at the Joe Business page. And also for digital download in the iTunes store and to the app Special Things store. And hey, also don't forget to get Never Not Funny Year 1. I get money from that too. Let's do everything we can to rally around and get me some cash. Never Not Funny Season 1 is available as part of the 1 through 5 pack, I think. I don't know if they sell it individually still, but you can get it as part of the year 1 through 5 package that they offer. So check that out. And I want to say some thank yous here. You know, I have a P.O. box. If you want to send me something, you need to write me and I'll give you the P.O. box address. I don't put it out there for public consumption because, oh my gosh, I would be deluged with gifts from everybody. So you have to specifically want to send me a gift and you got to contact me and I will let you know what the P.O. box number is. But some people have, and I just went and checked it and I got some cool stuff. Our friend Jim Donovan, who listens to this show, he sent me, although, all right, he wrote me and he's like, dude, I know a movie you would love. It's Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence in Life. You would think it's hysterical. I'm like, yeah, I'll try to catch that someday. He goes, dude, I really want you to see it. It's awesome. And I'm like, okay, I think I'll see that someday. Maybe I'll keep an eye out for it. He goes, you know what? I'd be happy to buy the DVD and send it to you. I said, Jim, it's not necessary. I mean, I appreciate it. Someday maybe I'll be able to check it out. But right now I have to, and this is all my pleasant way of saying I have no interest at all in seeing it because I'm trying to be a nice guy. And Jim finally convinces me. He's like, I would not lie to you. This is one of the funniest movies ever. I love it very much. I would love for you to see it. You have to see it. And I said, all right. I mean, if you want to buy it and send it to me, you can. You don't really have to do that, Jim. That's way too nice of you. He goes, no, man, I'll do it. And sure enough, a DVD showed up of Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. Thank you, Jim. That's awesome. I have not seen it yet. Well, I just got it like 2 days ago. I mean, I just went to the P.O. box. But I will see it eventually. I promise. You made the effort to get it to me. I will make the effort to watch it. And besides, once they turn the electricity off, I'll need to do something at the Kinko's. I'll just slam that in the machine once I have to go out there. So thank you, Jim, for that. I appreciate it. Our friend David Kemp, who's a listener to the show, and he did a musical score for a film called Ingenue. And then he sent me a DVD of the film Ingenue, starring Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy. But he did all the music. I'm excited for that. I'm going to check that out, David. Thank you so much for sending me that. And let's talk about our good friend Casey Murphy, who has sent me stuff in the past. Murph, I met him a long time ago in Peoria. I was working at a club called Brewster's, and me and Jimmy Pardo rolled into town. And Murph actually did stand-up. He hosted those. I don't know if he hosted all the shows that week. But I remember that because Brewster's, Peoria has a place called the Jukebox, and it's been there forever. Okay. Well, Brewster's decided they were going to compete. And the people I had worked for who owned the Jukebox were gone, and a new guy had taken it over. And so I didn't really feel that I had to be that loyal. So I came into work Brewster's. And plus, I needed the fucking money, and Jimmy asked me to go. That's it. That's all I really needed. So I went to Peoria with Jimmy, and we worked at Brewster's. And that was the week of the Great White Fire. Remember when Great White, the band, played in a nightclub, and there was a fire? Because we got to town, and I get to my room, and I called Pardo. I go, you seeing this? Because we were watching it on CNN, and they had the film of the fire, and it was the stampede and all that. And then the next night, I had 10 minutes on the fire. So that went over real well. Because stuff like there, because the room we were playing in at Brewster's was a giant room. There was a huge curtain behind me, and so the next night when I went up on stage, I go, look, before I get underway, I just want to point this out. There's an exit over here and an exit over here, because if anything goes wrong with my pyro, I am not going to be held responsible.
Oh, Jesus. That's funny.
And then I said, it's funny because, it's a terrible tragedy what happened there. And a lot of the people were burned. And it turns out they're going to need dental records to identify some of those people. I got news for you. That's a Great White concert in 2005. Not a lot of fucking teeth in that room.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. It was a lot of that stuff. And it worked. It actually did very well in Peoria, so good for me. And then I came here and I did it at the M Bar. I remember doing it there and getting good notices off of it. Good notices. You're spinning newspaper. Schmidt slams Great White dead. Awful person. But because Murph was there that week, and so I got a package from Murph in the mail, and it turned out that Brewster's closed just this week. It's the actual theater, because they'd stopped doing comedy, I think, the minute I did the Great White joke. The second I said not a lot of fucking teeth in that room, they shut it down. But they had stopped doing comedy there for a long time, but the theater itself was still there. It had been there quite a while. Well, I guess they tore it down. But Murph sent me a shirt from Brewster's as a memento of the time that I worked there and worked with him. And he got a giant shirt too, like a 4X, so like that'll fit me eventually. I don't mean eventually. I can get into a 4X. It was a joke, folks. I wear a 2X. But the 4X was so it's nice. I was excited, so I got it. Threw that in the closet. But thank you, Murph. Thank you, Jim Donovan. Thank you, David Kemp, for sending me stuff. I do appreciate it. If you guys want to send me anything, go ahead and send me stuff at the P.O. Box. Write me first and get the address, and then I can send you that. And now I got to get the fuck out of here so you and your cat can eat Arby's. Boy, that's what it's come to. You and your cat are home eating Arby's. Oh, my God. Close enough. I don't know. You guys look pretty comfortable together. I wouldn't know. I leaped out of my skin the second it walked into the room. I have no idea. I wish. I have no reason to be. What am I going to be teasing you? Ha ha. You and your cat look like fun. I literally shit my pants. Like it was like I jumped out. I jumped out of the chair. It's not even a joke. I didn't know what it was. It made a noise. It fucking bumped me. It was weird. All right. So, I should tell you this, man. I was home today, and again, I had a bad, because I got this news about the thing on Tuesday, which was yesterday. So, and then when that ended yesterday, I hung up. I saw the email, and then I had to tell people what happened, and then I went to my Facebook page and I typed something about the University of Illinois. I did. I put it right up there, and the best part is people are liking it. Yay, we like this. It's like, oh, you don't know what it means. So, yeah. It's great because I threw it up there as a personal thing for me to put up there, and Mex knew it was funny because I didn't even tell Mex what it meant, but then when he wrote the thing under there, it made me laugh. So I was dead to the world yesterday. Like I didn't want to move. You hear people that get depressed and they get all sleepy or weird. But yesterday was the first time I felt crushed. Where I was, because I mean, I've always, I'm a shark, man. You move forward. You just do. You make it work, and you make it work as soon as you fucking can, and you do whatever you can. But to have hope utterly stripped from you in that moment was really tough. So yesterday, I didn't want to do a fucking thing. Like I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I sat in my house. I watched the Blackhawks, and that was it, man. I didn't even go out to the pool or anything. And that's hard for me to not do. Usually, I didn't even check the mail yesterday. And there's a reason I like checking the mail, because there's these young people now who live in my house, and normally I'm not a fan of the young. Because they look at me askance and they're like, who's that idiot? Well, yes, I'm an idiot, certainly. But now they're all hanging out at the pool with their hard ciders and their hard lemonades and their hard bodies. I will not lie about that. That is the only good thing. That's why I go check the mail, is because the girls who have moved into my building, or at least hang out with the guys in my building, there's this one girl who does not mind how spread her legs get. She has her ankles are in different area codes every time I fucking check her out. I don't know if she's tanning her pussy lips. I don't know what her plan is, but she lays on the Chase lounge and she'll have a foot on either side of the Chase on the ground. Like she doesn't ever lay flat. And then she did a thing. I'm a fan of this view. She was on her stomach, and a guy walked up to say hi, and she did this thing. It was so funny to see her immediately go into flirt mode. And it's trust me, it's not like all right, yeah, maybe I am looking out my kitchen window at them. Who cares? But I saw her do it. She's like laying down, like tanning, and she's got her, her legs are a fucking akimbo, and that is like a fucking straight up shot, like at her fucking Wango Tango, and I'm like, all right, that's a nice shot. And she's face down, and this guy walks up and he's like, hey. And she leans up and she put her chin in her hand and immediately kicked her feet up and started to kick them like in the air. With even though her legs were kind of spinning, she like, that thing, she's like, hey, and I heard her, she goes, hey. And it was like when a dog starts wagging its tail or a cat like mews and like rubs its face into you. She immediately like pheromones or something, man. She looked up and she went, hey, and just started kicking her feet up. And I'm like, oh my God, that is like, please, that guy needs to talk to you more often because that's an awesome view. So that was the only thing that brought me joy yesterday. Even though I didn't go out and check the mail, I still was able to look out my kitchen window because I'm horrible. But certainly today, I said I got to get the mail because, look, folks, I'm deluged with sale papers. I can't have 2 days worth building up in my fucking mailbox. So I went out today, and there was that girl was out there, but with 2 other girls and a couple other guys, and they're drinking booze. And the guy's tanning in a fedora. He's got an actual like a fucking hipster hat on. Yeah, he's got ink. It's terrible. Look, I don't want to hang out with them. I don't want to fucking play Monopoly with these people, but they're fun to look at. So Monopoly, that's where I go. How old am I? Jesus Christ! No wonder I'm peeking out of a kitchen window like Gladys Kravitz. What the fuck? So I go to check and get my mail, and I try. That's the thing is I can't look at them when I'm getting the mail because I know one of them will look up at me and I'm busted. But I was coming in from getting the mail, and I was walking through, and I make sure not to look. But then as I walk and I turn to go into my house, I can turn around and fucking stare. So I do. I turn around, I watch, and I look, and I'm just fucking staring. And I walk and I get into my house. And I walk back out to go to the laundry room to get a load of clothes out, and my friend Oscar is watching me from the balcony. He goes, hey, Mike. And I just look up at him, and he's just smiling at me, and I went, yeah. And he just laughed because he knew. I stared. Like, if there would have been a telephone pole, I would have walked right the fuck into it. So I go to the laundry room, I get my clothes, and I'm getting ready to come over here, and I'm in the kitchen, and I hear them laughing and joking and splashing one another and all that. And I look, and one of the new girls, who I have not met before, I've never seen before, is topless in the pool. And making sure that everybody knows. Stop! No, stop! And she's splashing like her friends, and they're splashing her. And the thing is, she's not topless like, oops, my top may have come off. She's topless like, I got in the pool without a fucking top. Like, I don't see a top anywhere. I just see her above the water with no top on. And we have a child who lives in our complex, and I don't give a fuck. Grow up at this point, because guess what? Step outside and see what you're missing. But they're splashing each other, and they're having fun, and the fedora is like, ha-ha, and she's just topless. And she gets out of the pool, and she prances. I can't put it in any better way. She literally prances, like runs, and her boobs like Phoebe Cates in slow motion for me, and I'm watching. And I was going to judge Reinhold. I literally was like, I got to spank it in my kitchen. I got to jerk off right here in my kitchen. And the thing is, I live alone now. I can pull that off. I can do it if I want. In the old days, who knows? Karen wanders in. Why are you jerking off in the kitchen? It's a long story. You don't want to know. But now I don't have to explain myself to fucking anybody. However, I do know that the second I fucking whip it out and I start jerking off in my kitchen, Oscar's going to look in the window and go, hey, Mike. God damn it, Oscar. Why are you always tormenting me? Let me have my view. I'm an old man who's lonely. You know my wife is gone. I got to run off a batch. Look at these young nubile ladies who are topless in our fucking pool. Things are changing around here, goddammit. I at least have something to fucking look at. So she prances over and runs over to the Chase Lounge, and she grabs the towel, and I'm like, what the fuck? She's so naked and bouncy and tan. And then she tabs the towel, and she wraps the towel around herself. And she's like, ha, 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 ha. And then she runs away and runs upstairs. And I'm in the kitchen just staring, and I'm like, oh. I'm human lunch meat. I'm nobody. I'm baloney in pants. God damn it. Why do I think I'm somebody special? Why do I think I'm anybody interesting? I'm not. All I bring to the table is everything that everybody else does, but louder. Don't hit snooze on me, motherfucker. I am a hilarious noise machine. I'm going to tell you this. You need to sit down and reevaluate your life if you can pull 2 midget Indian wrestlers out of your skull at any time. You know what? I don't even need you people here. Seriously, I do this. I love me. I don't give a fuck what you think, how you think. God damn it, I'm the greatest. I can't go for Schmidt. No, no. No can do. 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 No can do.